joys of life and to console each other.
Hello. I am sorry, but I must interrupt this show.
Later, you know what it is. Hey, Ham Solo. It's time, baby. Low. It's time how we do. Hey.
They said, we said, we lit. They said, we said, we on. They said, we said, strong. They said, we said, we say that you heard right. 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 They said, we said, we in. They said, we said, they said, we said, strong. They said, we said, we say that you heard right. 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 Man, I swear that it's imminent. I've been going so hard on my penmanship. About to go in and buy me a whip. And I pull that shit fresh off the dealership. I can leave you on red like an Xbox. Got me laughing at you like you red fox. Got you chasing Hot Wheels like a matchbox. EA running the game and it don't stop. Super cold like I'm playing for bliss. Got you all in my sights like Red Dead Redemption. Never gonna slip on my pimpin'. Better get out my way, bitch, I'm on a mission. Really ain't no competition. I'm steady grilling opposition. I'm get up and ready to win. They can play it how they play, but fuck what you say. I'm getting this money today. Last of us like a dying breed. Down the ride like a noble steed. Fatality moves, I make it bleed. That's on any game, that's on any screen. Shut up and give me your money. They said we so lit. Even if I take an L, we coming back just to show that we don't quit. They said we lit. They said we said we on. They said we said they said we said
Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 79th edition of the LowDown on TSWS Gaming. I'm Loke7, and joining me today, as usual, is Mr. Ham Solo. Ham, how you doing?
Trying to get this damn light stop flickering. But I mean, other than that, I'm doing pretty damn good. Happy to see some of the folks popping in the chat. What's cracking, Yobi, Ray Chi, Jeremy Rogers Wright. Appreciate you for your subscription. The Gina, happy to have you here. He says good evening. I'm saying good afternoon because it's a little different time.
It's real time. The Gina is on the real time. All right, it is 8 p.m.
You can call him the real time as long as you call us the Lord's time.
Okay. Peace, love, life. This morning I rushed 2 games, leaving Game Pass today. When you say this morning I rushed 2 games, does that mean you bought them or you finished them?
He sounds like he hurry up and finished them.
Oh, okay.
That's how I'd look at it.
That's the Game Pass trap. That is the trap that I've always told people about. That's the trap.
Makes you use your time a little differently, right?
No, they make you sample these games. Oh yeah, finish them. All right, cool, Rachel. They make you sample all of these great games, and then they take them away from you. So some people, right, who have the time, like Rachel, will finish them. But the rest of us, what do we do, Ham? What do we do? We'll buy them because every game that's in Game Pass is discounted. That's the Game Pass trap. That's the trap. Anyways, Ham, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. I've been playing a crazy amount of Destiny as of lately. I don't have the gameplay for that rendered quite yet, so I'm using last week's clips of shows for the background, as you can see. But I've been playing quite a bit of that. Really, that's kind of all for the last few days. Prior to that, I was playing a lot of college football. I'm probably still going to play a lot of college football, just taking a bit of a break because I went into that hot and only played that for like 2 weeks, pretty much. I played. It was wild. But it's been a good time gaming. As for gaming news lately, it's been drier than a June bug.
What are you talking about, Ham?
It has been drier than a June bug that hit.
Don't worry.
Drier.
Don't worry. I got you. Don't worry. It's popping today. Don't worry about the news. I got you.
Well, I'm happy that we have something because I tell you what, across the board of me watching other channels and stuff like that, it feels like a lot of people are just kind of scratching at the surface of just trying to figure out something to talk about because it's just I don't know.
That's unfortunate.
I feel like
'Cause-
some of it's even like quite a bit of fake outrage because there's just not a whole lot to talk about.
Well, we'll see. At the end of our show, we shall see if that's true. Because in my opinion, the news and opinions runneth over. Our cup runneth over. In terms of video games, I'm playing a lot of Elden Ring. A lot of Elden Ring. And I'm doing damage. I'm doing real damage. I still haven't beaten it, but I'm on track to 100% it. I've got about 60.
Whatever.
I got about 60 hours. What?
Whatever.
You're doubting me, Am. You're
Yeah.
doubting. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, just for anyone that's curious, hold on. Let me open my games library here. Otherwise, it'll sound like I'm capping. It'll sound like I'm capping. Let me share my screen real quick on Steam. This is real. I am doing damage on Elden Ring. Ham, you can underestimate me at your own peril. Where is this? Okay, here we go. Steam. As you can see, this is Elden Ring. This is my profile, Log7 with the IGN profile pic.
Yeah, that's you. That is you. You.
You can see I put in 74 hours into it. I've gotten 26 of the 42 achievements. All right. I know
Yeah,
there's a lot of people that in
you
72 hours
you
and
ain't
already
getting that.
beaten it.
You ain't getting that, bud.
Well, Ham, my last achievement, I acquired all the legendary sorceries and incantations, and I'm not too proud to deny or to admit it. I've been using a guide. All right, there's someone telling
course
me
you have.
where the incantations are. But Ham, let me tell you something.
Can't get you on the road without a map, right?
It doesn't matter. But let me tell you something, Ham. You can give out all the guides you want in the world when it comes to FromSoft games. You still have to go out there and do it.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Those guides are 5 minutes long, but getting it done is not 5 minutes. It's not 5 minutes. All right. 74 hours. It's 74 hours that I put in. But trust me, Ham, I've already gotten 26. The rest are on their way. Watch me. I think I might clock like 200 hours before I 100% this, but I'll freaking do it. Watch me. I'll do it.
Shut the fuck up. Do you know what shut the fuck up means?
You ain't gonna do it.
Damn. The Guinness says F for doubt in the chat. Ray Cheese says press X to doubt. God damn. You guys are heartless. You guys have no faith in me. That's messed up. Look has a secret IGN code to unlock easy mode. Jesus. Well, unfortunately, there's no easy mode on Elden Ring. Otherwise, I'd have clocked it by now. I'd have 100%ed it by now. Anyways, Ham, let's get into the so-called light news. Okay, I'll concede 1 point. I'll concede 1 point. It is light on game releases. This week is very light, even on trailers. Thank you. Finally, someone believes in me. Where's the hat? I'll get the hat in a minute. I'll bring out the hat in a bit. At least someone believes in me. Let's go. Elden Ring. We're doing this.
You're gonna listen to that from Yucky Yobi. You're gonna listen to that from Yucky Yobi.
I am getting that platinum, man. I'm getting that platinum. Watch me. All right. Visions of my. Oh my God! I need to put this image up. Okay, there we go. So, Visions of Mana demo is now available. Ham, do you remember this game from the Xbox showcase that everyone was like, this took up way too much time? It made no sense. The demo is now live.
Right, and
interested?
I've been hearing a lot
me
of
get my
people
hat.
say he said, "Watch yourself, little man." But anyways, I've been seeing a lot of people like say this game is good to them and whatnot, and that's cool. I'm personally not really invested in it. I think that it looks nice. Looks like it does what it's supposed to do pretty well. I wouldn't mind giving it a try and seeing if I would be into it, and that's what Game Pass is for. And thank you, Xbox, for putting that somewhere where I can give it a try and not have too many eggs in you know, in the basket.
In one
Or
basket.
yeah, in any one basket in particular. Exactly. Thank you. What's cracking, Ty? What's cracking? Make sure you guys hit that like button if you haven't on YouTube, or if you're on Twitter. I guess that's fine too. Share this thing out. Let everybody else know that we are live doing the damn thing, talking some games, having a good time. But anyways, Loke, your thoughts on Visions of Mana? I mean, like I said, I
I
think
have
the
no
game
idea.
looks nice, but I don't know
Yeah.
what it feels like to play that game.
I haven't given it a go, from being 1,000%. I didn't even know it was live until I got home and then started checking like subjects and topics and whatever. I saw this on Gematsu, like, oh my god, the demo's out. Okay, all right. So I will definitely be checking this out. So by Friday, I'll give you my thoughts. But
Okay.
from what I see in the trailer, it's essentially more of what we saw before, and I was already excited for. Never seen a man wear so many different hats and have them all be bad.
No, this man
Don't
looking like
hate.
Cam Newton over
Don't
here.
hate. Don't hate. Oh man, dude, Cam Newton has some fits, Cam.
Yeah,
Cam
he
has some
does.
outfits, bro. That guy has the
He has,
drip going.
yeah, it's something.
It is definitely something. But
It's his
yeah,
own.
I'm definitely interested in this one. And so since you're not like super hyped on it, Ham, I'm going to play this one for the channel when it comes out.
Yeah, you do that. Give me more time to play
Yeah,
something else.
I'll play this one and
I
probably
bet
get
it's
a
a
review
dope
out as
game. I
well.
bet it's a dope game because it
It looks
looks fun.
delicious.
It looks
Yeah.
fun. It gives me that kind of like Tales of Arise or like
Yeah,
or even a little bit of Scarlet Nexus even kind of feel when I look at it, right?
more like
But
Tales. More like Tales.
yeah, I'd say probably more like Tales. I'm just kind of thinking like, team aspect, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how each person kind of has their own thing that probably, does more of a critical damage than others, or maybe than your stock character, right? So
Yeah.
I think it looks delicious. I just like, as I've
Yes.
told you before, it's no disrespect to this game. It's no disrespect to really any games that are coming out. I just have a laundry list right now. And certain games are going to take like, this outfit takes priority because I like to wear this every week, right? But like
Yeah.
these other outfits, I might have to pack them up and put them in the closet for the winter. You know what I'm
And this
saying?
one
Like,
looks like
so
100-hour type game, or at least
it
50 hours.
does. Dude, any of the games kind of like this, I anticipate at least like 70 to 80 hours.
Yeah. That's just the reality of the matter. So
Because not only is it all the fighting, but it's all the companionships and leveling up people one at a
and you know you have to level
time.
them up. Look at these
Exactly.
tiny little things. Can you see these tiny little enemies have? You're gonna be grinding these things for hours, trying to level up your party. You know
Talk
this.
about it. Yes.
Yeah.
You'll
You're gonna
be
be
making
grinding those little
rounds
bastards.
on the map. You'll know that map like you know your own house. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yep.
for real.
Yep.
Those things don't. Yeah, it's wild.
I agree with Reichi. I don't play JRPGs on Game Pass. Guys, the
I
function
do.
of Game Pass, in my opinion, the function of Game Pass, it's not for you to get in, play a game, finish, especially these long ones. Get in, play the game, finish it, and then move on. The function, at least this is how I use it, is to sample a super long or big game and be like, oh, okay, so I definitely have to buy this one and put it in the backlog.
Shut up. No, you don't.
That's
I
what
didn't
I
do that
do.
with
I do with
Persona.
the Yakuza
I
thing.
put 100. I put 120 plus hours in the Persona. I don't own it,
But Ham,
and
have
I
you
don't
seen how
really
many
care if I do
JRPGs
own
are
it.
on Game Pass? You seen how many
What?
JRPGs are on Game Pass? If you
There
sit
are a
there and
lot.
you're like, I'm gonna beat all them JRPGs on Game Pass, it's
Well,
not gonna work
eventually,
out for
yeah,
you.
you're probably gonna run into a situation where you need to buy some because you're running out of time. But
That's
I'm
what I'm
just saying,
saying.
like, you don't need to.
So
But like, I'm not gonna say I ain't playing a JRPG because it might leave Game Pass or something like that. No, I'm gonna use the hell out. Like if a open slot opens up in my backlog or like in my time, and this so happens to be out in that vicinity, I'm gonna play it depending on like. But if they say, hey, it's leaving next month, I might be playing it all month long until it leaves, and then hopefully beat it before it leaves Game Pass. And if I don't, then I guess I gotta buy it.
yeah,
That's kind of how I
yeah.
look
So
at
so
it.
my point specifically, I guess I worded it wrong. Is I'm not saying don't play JRPGs on Game Pass. I'm saying you can't realistically like main JRPGs and finish them all on Game Pass.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that was my point. Because first person shooters, no offense, most first person shooters don't go past 15 hours the campaign. If you play them every single day and you keep going, most of them 15 hours and you're done. Dragon Quest 11 was so long to, oh my god, I gave up on Dragon Quest 11. I think I was on chapter 6. I was like, there's other stuff to play. I'm not saying it's a bad game, but I was just like, nah. you know I was like, there's still so much more to play, and Game Pass had more and more games, and then I had games I wanted to play on PlayStation as well. I was just like, nah, I'm all right. I'm not even like pissed or whatever. When it's on sale on PC, I'll probably buy it for like $5. I might finish it on PC one day because now PC is the main platform for me at least. Persona who uses Denobo still haven't been prepped so good for Atlas. I love my wife, but sometimes she go to bed on her own as I'm staying up late because that Game Pass game has to be finished before it goes. God damn. See what's happening. Game Pass is now affecting marriages, man. This is the problem. This is the real problem people should be talking about. Not all this profits, monthly active users rubbish. Anyways, let's move on to the second game. That it's not a new game, but we got the final preview for Star Wars Outlaws. Let's take a look. So people were memeing on this thing, Ham, because some of the visuals look subpar, and Ryan McCaffrey, who was doing the audio work, was like super excited, or said that he was super excited, but it didn't look very exciting, or what he said didn't look exciting. What are your thoughts on this final preview of Star Wars?
I'm sorry, say that again.
I'm saying, what are your thoughts on this final preview? Are you more excited to play the game now?
I didn't see the final preview because I'm not too interested in watching any of the stuff for it. I'm more interested in just playing it when it comes out. Kind of want it to be a little bit of a surprise.
Okay, so you're definitely getting this day one then. Is that it?
Either that or getting the subscription service, one of the two. I don't know.
This is a Ubisoft Plus game, right?
Yeah, your camera is like falling lower.
What the hell?
There you go. Or
Weird.
yeah, that was wild. I was like seeing your chin.
Hold on. I need to get the whole hat.
Oh my god, nobody.
There
No,
we
you
go.
don't.
There we go.
That's hard, man. You can't get all that in one screen.
You can hate all you want, Ham. Is this not coming out more or less the same time that Assassin's Creed Shadows is coming out?
No. Isn't this coming out soon?
Let's see.
I mean, unless they move the release date. I thought the release date was supposed to be like late August or early September or something, or maybe even late September. I don't remember.
Okay, so Assassin's Creed is November 15th.
Right.
Star Wars Outlaws is August 30th.
There you go.
Okay, so it's about 2 months
late
difference. All right, so let's agree on something. You're gonna play this for the channel?
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm not interested.
Really?
Like,
Why?
I'm not.
I
I'm
thought
not
you liked
impressed.
a good story. You played Jedi Survivor. Like, what makes you not want to play this game?
I did.
It's supposed to be
Oh,
like
it
a lot
doesn't-
more to do than Jedi Survivor.
It doesn't look fun to me. I might be wrong, but from what I've seen, it looks a lot. There's a lot of like people pointing out, and with good reason, in my opinion, that it looks like The Division, but Star Wars. And I have nothing against The Division. You know, I had a good time with the second Division with my brothers for like
Yeah,
5 or
Division
6
2 was
hours,
dope.
and then we never played it again. But I don't know. I'm not excited for it. I'm just being honest.
Huh? That's
I'm
interesting.
not crazy. I'm not
Look
crazy
at
about
those. Look at those solid snake-like moves, and you don't like it. That's crazy.
it. Yeah, it looks kind of whatever.
I ain't gonna lie. The character looks like a J-Lo before fucking Living Color. Before she was dancing for Diddy.
Oh my goodness! Stop it.
I mean, that's not. I mean, I didn't say anything insane. She literally did that.
What? Loke 7 hates white women. Oh my god.
Wow.
That's a reach. That's a reach, Rachie.
Wow, that came out of left field,
bro. Anyways, no, just again, dude. I can't put my finger on it, right? But it just doesn't feel like it's going to be worth my time. Not at like $60 or $100, right? For me, it feels like this one. I'll definitely play it one day when the price is down. Yeah. So this was the part that people were memeing on. Ham. Can you look at the NPC? Look at this NPC here. This one. And then people were saying, Ryan was saying some crazy shit.
To
Listen.
get out of trouble, and that adds to the sense of danger because you're not a laser sword wielding demigod. As such, the blaster battles felt like they had meaningful stakes, and the stealth gameplay had the sense of danger because you're not a laser sword wielding demigod. As such, the blaster battles felt like they.
What is this?
Yeah, that
three
looked
enemies.
That looked a little janky. I'm not gonna. It looked. I mean, like, but hey, I'm not gonna lie. I've had moments like this in Starfield where I'm like, I don't think the enemy is comprehending what I'm doing right now. Like, I've had some of these moments in the best games that I played. What baffles me is that this is in a trailer. You see what I'm saying?
So someone was editing.
What happened to your
Saw
camera
this.
and your mic?
Hold on. So it's a good point that you bring up. Someone was editing this video, saw that, cut it into the audio, and then pressed publish.
Well,
That's
what was that video off of? Was that like IGN or was that like just a YouTuber?
Yeah, it's IGN. It's IGN. It's IGN.
Yeah, so like that's weird to me. Like that's a, I mean, it'd be different if it was like, I'm gonna be honest right now. It'd be different if it was you or me that cut that into the video, right?
Fair. That's fair.
But if it's the leading news site for gaming, and that's what you see, it's a little, it looks a little janky, but like, hey, I'm still gonna give it a shot. I'm still here to give it a shot. It's just like, that's just kind of a weird choice of what you'd want to include in your video of showing off how cool you think the game is.
Yeah.
It wasn't a smooth cut. Like, I feel like you could be, because it looks like what they did with that enemy was paralyzed, because it looks like he was like seizing for a moment. It reminded me of that siphon filter, siphon filter. Ah! And he turns on fire and shit like that. That shit was dope. But it looked like he got tased or something, or like used some sort of taser gun.
Yeah.
And
it looks like he got stunned.
And that's fine, but like, why is it right after that it seemed like they were like almost like kind of hugging or something like that, like with the next enemy, and like you guys are all like in this tight spot, and like who's using guns that close to each other,
and your health is fine?
Like, right? Why isn't somebody reaching over and like backhanding you, like in like a Death Stranding, you get too close to an enemy and they'll like punch you or something like that.
Even the division, if you get too close, they melee you.
Yeah, it's a weird, it's a weird look, but maybe it's one of those like snuck past security kind of videos. like that shouldn't have been in there, but it somehow made it. And it's weird because you would think, but we've seen mistakes before, where you'll look at an IGN article or another top gaming publisher publisher's article, and it's like,
and someone did an edit. You're like,
fuck
what?
That sentence up. Like,
that's not English.
That sentence doesn't make any damn sense. So I'm throwing that as a possibility of that. Hey, maybe that ugly look didn't belong there, and it just so happened to make the cut on accident. It is really only like 3 seconds too. It's only like 3 to 10 seconds worth of, but that's enough time to like make somebody be like, "What the fuck?" It made you do it. Exactly.
Those 3 seconds, Ham, because everything in a gameplay preview, because that's what it says here, right? Star Wars: The Final Preview. Everything here can be used to sell the game. Yes. So everything in here can be used not to sell the game. It's really that simple. If the rules can be, if the rules can be, this can be taken forward, then it should be able to be taken backwards, just like math. All right. So that's my logic.
Fair. No, I think what you're saying is fair, but like, I'm also trying to like be somewhat kind and just kind of remember
try to be nice.
Well, my whole thing is, it's just like, at some point there is a little bit of a human element that you can use as an excuse, until maybe you look into it and find the real root of the cause, and then if it points back at the human again, then it's like, all right, what are you doing? But in this space, I'm not really tripping quite yet. on that.
Nelson is someone that I trust to go around and watch other
Why you
people's
trust
content.
Nelson? Why you trust him?
It's one of
Ain't
my
nobody.
Oh my god, Ham. One of my, and I'm gonna be honest about this. One of my weaknesses as a content creator is that I don't watch other content creators. That is my biggest weakness, and I'll own up to it today. And I trust a lot of what Nelson says because he takes the time to go and watch everyone. I don't know how he finds the time. I don't know, but he does watch a lot of people, and he says that everyone that played it says it's janky. It's not the footage.
I'm not crazy surprised either. Because how perfect
God.
are these games? Are any of these video games nowadays on release?
Almost none.
Exactly. So even if they showed us something absolutely pristine,
There's your grass, beginner. There's your grass.
There's still a high probability that that's not the product that we're getting at the end of the day. How many times did we see how great Cyberpunk was before that came out?
But Ham, just because most of the industry is releasing trash unbroken, broken trash, doesn't mean we should sit back and be like, everyone's doing it, so it's fine. You're muted.
I was talking to my wife.
Okay. So I was saying, Ham, just because the whole industry is doing some dumb stuff, right? Releasing games that aren't finished or whatever, or broken, doesn't mean we should.
I see what you're saying.
We should now say, "Oh no, it's fine." You know, if they do it as well.
No, absolutely. I'm just saying, like, I feel like I'm just playing devil's advocate over and over and over and over, and I'm kind of getting tired. I'm kind of getting tired of it, to be honest. Really, at the end of the day, I'll just have to try it out for myself and just see what
who you are right now.
Really, and as much as people like to dog out subscription services, this is the this is the reason why I stand behind.
Why? Yeah.
Because this could be the game of the year, but it also could be awful. Right?
Yeah.
Or it can be somewhere in between, like Jedi Survivor, which I'm anticipating.
Which is not terrible.
Which is not terrible, but not the game of the year either. It's just like a high caliber game.
It's a good game.
Right.
Yeah. When you get to the end of Jedi Survivor, you don't regret putting in 20, 30, 40 hours. You don't feel bad about it. You feel like, oh, okay, that was a worthwhile investment of my money, and I'm glad that's in my catalog. You know,
right?
You're not ashamed of that purchase. Welcome.
No, and I don't think I honestly don't think like if you go into this knowing who Ubisoft is and knowing that you like that you like Star Wars, I feel like this is just as meaningful as Avatar is. And I didn't think Avatar was a bad game. It just wasn't for me. I'm not a fan of Avatar. I don't really like its world that much.
But imagine if you were an Avatar fan.
I tried to play the game, and the game was very Far Cry-ish, but it was still fun. And it had some really cool elements, but it still wasn't my kind of IP, so I just didn't get much further with it. But this is more my jam. I like space. I don't really love Star Wars per se, but I love space combat and like shooting and all that good stuff. So I'm hoping that this game does well, but that person said something that was a very, very telling thing that we all kind of need to understand when we play this game, is that you are not wielding a sword and running around like a goddamn Jedi. You're not doing that. You are shooting. Yeah. And I think that's a big deal to really think about. You know what I'm saying? Because I think a lot of people are thinking they're going to hop into this and be Cal Kestis, and you're not.
Forget it. It would be nice if we saw a Cal Kestis cameo. Yeah?
Hey, Reezy. What's cracking?
Yeah. Ham, wouldn't it be nice if we saw Cal Kestis for like 5 seconds?
Yes. In passing, that would be really dope. Right? Just run into him at the
Yeah.
bar or something like that and have like a side mission
Yeah,
to do
yeah.
for him. That would be hot. That would be hot.
Even just seeing them pass by
or
and
just
doing
see
some cool
him-
shit and then just bounce.
Or just do a fight and run into him mid battle with somebody would be nuts.
And then
Wouldn't
you,
that be nuts?
yeah.
Like, you just see an enemy fly across and hit a wall, and then you see, and then all you see is this red-headed fucking demon just go right and just stab bro, and just look back at you evil, and just be like, oh hey,
And then, excuse me.
like oh hey, like something like that. That would just like that right there. That's the kind of shit that makes a game of the year or doesn't. It's no different than those cameos that you're in awe about with Deadpool, right?
Oh my god.
It's like when, like without the cameos, you were telling me the other day, without the cameos, that movie was meh.
Alright. It
But
was
with
alright.
the cameos, it makes it unforgettable.
Dude, I went to see it twice. I've already gone to see it twice. It was
yeah,
exceptional.
just that one cameo, just that one scene in something like this, with it
That would do it.
on top of it, with it being a different publisher, would be nuts.
That would be awesome.
Would be
That would be awesome.
insane. It'd be crazy to see Ubisoft take EA's Cal Kestis and just have him in like a 10-second scene.
10
Just for a
seconds.
quick
That's what we
moment.
need.
Just
Yeah.
pretty much a drive-by. Right?
Yeah. I might even decide to play the game just for that. Ham.
Right?
Just for that. Tired of being a Jedi. The same thing with Ham. I don't care about. You know what, Ham? And I 1000% agree with this one from Reichi. And I'm not trying to hate on the protagonist that's here, right? But I feel like this is almost a missed opportunity. Because if this is The Division but Star Wars, there was an opportunity here to let people make their own bounty hunter or their own scoundrel. But obviously you would miss out on a lot of like cinematics that are involved because you have a set character right now. You know, the fact that we have a specific protagonist makes it so we have engagements like this, you know, that are already set up and whatever, which are awesome because we now have it. But if we had like a created character, it would be a lot like Starfield, which wouldn't be great for like Star Wars, which depends a lot on set pieces. What do you think about the protagonist now? Do you think it could have been better if they left it open, or was this the right decision after all?
That's something that can't really be determined right now for me personally, because it's just like I can't say, oh man, I wish it was something else, and I don't even know the story. I don't know how they're gonna react. I don't know like if there's gonna be like a somber scene and they do something just magnificent. Like I just don't know. So like for me, it's like that's like asking me at this point last year how I felt about, I don't know, I know this is a little different, but like how I feel about Sarah from Starfield or something like that. And it's like I don't even know the first thing she's gonna say. Like I don't even know how to like tell you if that character is gonna be great or if it's gonna be a dud. And I'm talking about Sarah from Starfield. Like I just don't know. If I were to just play your game real quick and just like, you know, hop in there and just have an idea of, do I think they should have changed or did anything different with the character? I would say, I'd say no. I feel like she's rendered a little weird. She looks a little weird in the camera. Like,
Does she? I think she looks fine.
I think that she just looks a little weird sometimes. Like I said, maybe it's the whole J-Lo thing that I just keep thinking. I just can't stop thinking about
Keep going
J-Lo.
to J-Lo and Diddy, man.
No, I don't keep going for Diddy. I just keep thinking J-Lo in particular. I'm just thinking she looks like a J-Lo from before Living Code, before she was a dancer or something like that. Like, she just reminds me of that, just based off of the looks.
All right.
But
cheers, beginner.
Hey,
thank you so much for coming through, man. Safe trip.
Yeah. No doubt. Safe trip to you, brother. But yeah, I think it's fine so far. I don't have any problems. Maybe it just looks weird because I've seen it in so many different resolutions. But like, I just need it. This is one of those things where I can't really give you a fair, balanced answer without have played, have had some time in the game.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. But you know what? Now that I think about it, I think they made the right decision.
yeah, Darius, you're right.
Star Wars. Yeah.
Andre's banging.
Yeah. Yes, she is. Star Wars is all about recognizable faces, man. I think they made the right decision.
Ooh, you bring up a really good point. But let me re-answer part of my question just based off of what you just brought to the table. Because yes, in the world of I almost said Starfield. In the world of Star Wars, faces matter a lot, right? I think this game would sell more easily if they used a recognizable person. I 100% think that. But with them not using a recognizable person, they essentially diminish the opportunity to fuck up what's good already. Right? And that's a big pet peeve I know for you.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Don't ruin a great story that's already been told. Right? So they didn't have to worry about that. All they had to do was stick with some lore with this game, which in my opinion, it may not sell more initially, but it has the potential to not fuck up things as well, which is good.
Yeah. Sapo, to your question, it is set between the Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Yeah, so depending on where Cal Kestis' adventures are set up, Cal Kestis' adventures are set up for after the Order 66, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, they're probably not going to bump into each other.
No,
it wouldn't make any sense.
Sure, but I'm just having fun, like just something like that. It doesn't even have to be Cal, right? It could be somebody from that time period. That'd just be kind of cool to run into. Which I'm sure they'll have that in the game, right?
Hopefully.
But it would be a lot cooler if we seen somebody that was a character from another video game that we've played before. Like wouldn't that be insane to like run into Star Killer?
That would be awesome.
Wouldn't that be it would be terrifying to run into Star Killer.
It would be scary, yeah.
Right? Like maybe take the little heat off of Vader and let's run into somebody that's a fucking demon, like Star Killer or something like that. And I don't even know if that timeline matches up either, because like I said, I'm not really big into the lore and stuff like that of Star Wars, but just something that kind of tugs at the hearts of gamers is always welcome.
Yeah. So I'm going to look into this. Like now that we're discussing it, I'm realizing how inept I am with the Star Wars lore in terms of timelines of who is where. So I'm definitely going to look into this. I'd like to know, like, specifically where's Boba Fett, where's Jango Fett, wears all these characters. I might even go back and watch The Acolyte, because I jumped off of that because of the acting on the first episode was just so rough. Anyways, Sapo's buying it day one, so enjoy, Sapo. Please give us your feedback when you can. I'm pretty much done on this one, Hammer. Do you have anything else you want to add on to?
Nope.
All right. That's Star Wars done. Now let's get into the salt. Well, it's not salt yet. It's not salt yet.
Goodness.
It's news. It's news. No salt. It's news.
Nice transition. It's news.
IGN reports here Xbox hardware revenue down 42%. Oh my god. From last year as Activision acquisition continues to boost content sales. Before we get into
when
this
you
article,
read, before you even go, Loke, when you read this, you would think that Xbox is losing a boatload of money. When you just read this title and you're just like, man, it looks like they're hanging on by a sliver, and it's like, go ahead and
they are struggling. No, there's more. This is another title. This one's from VGC. It says Activision Blizzard again boosted Xbox's earnings results while hardware declined. I just want to address the green elephant in the room. For reasons beyond me,
I didn't know there was a green elephant. I'm not gonna lie.
It seems like either gaming publications and or gamers, right?
Okay.
Don't want to acknowledge that Activision Blizzard is Xbox. There seems to be a real
100%
discomfort with this reality. I don't know what it's about. I don't know if it's hating. I don't know if it's lack of habit. I don't know if it's copium. I don't know. But the titles, they're very specific about trying to separate Activision and Xbox. I don't understand it, bro.
First of all, maybe you need to change your profile picture on Steam.
Settle down. My profile picture on Steam is the IGN logo, and it shall remain there for the foreseeable future. All right. I might even change my Xbox and PlayStation. Actually, no, I can't change my PlayStation logo because PlayStation won't let me get onto their app because I don't exist according to PlayStation. Anyway, why do you think there's this insistence on pretending or doing the utmost to separate Xbox from Activision Blizzard?
I feel like it's easy to say that Xbox tax thing, which I think is definitely relevant here. I think that's true in this situation. But I think like the more insightful answer or the more legit thing behind it is just people not really understanding the shift in gaming that is taking place right now. So they're looking to kind of, I don't know, pretty much use one like domino as like a catalyst for their narrative. Right? So like they're taking, oh, well, we're looking at hardware because we're traditionally hardware guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
When the climate has been moving from hardware more to software. And as you see, even people's most loving most beloved company, Sony, even I shouldn't even say they're the most beloved because I think that's Nintendo. But
I was about to correct you there.
but we're seeing Sony bend the knee as well to saying, hey, we need to put our
Monthly active
software.
users up.
We need to put our software on more devices, and that doesn't always include just the PlayStation umbrella. As you see, we just got done just a few months ago, or not that long ago. We were talking about the Lego Horizon game going to Switch, right?
Mhm.
What does that software have to do with Nintendo? Nothing but them trying to make some cash off of it, right? They're just
And
trying
get
to make
more
some
people.
cash off of it, and that's what these businesses are about at the end of the day. If Sony was able to make the same amount of money not making hardware, do you think they would still make hardware?
I think so. I think actually Nintendo is the only one that makes a profit off of the sale of their hardware. So I don't think Sony would still make hardware.
I think they would make hardware, but it wouldn't be as detrimental as they make it seem right now. I feel like the only reason they make it seem detrimental is because they painted themselves in this corner of, hey, you need this to access that. And now that everybody's so used to that, they're now trying to figure out, all right, well, you still need this to access that, but at the same time, we're going to be implementing this because we see the newer crowd isn't really with the old way of doing things. They want us to kind of meet them in the middle, which Sony's never really been the greatest at meeting people in the middle.
Yeah, because they're usually the market leader, right, or close to that.
Yeah,
Usually, have to negotiate that much.
usually they have enough control over it to where they dictate where things are going and how things are coming out and how you are going to how you yourself are going to digest it. But now it's kind of like, oh crap, our own first party games and stuff like that aren't cutting it. As you see, look, I've been trying to tell you the last few months with PlayStation Plus has not been hot. I've been trying to tell you that, and you're like, yo, the games are all right. They're pretty good. Well, the numbers are telling you they're not.
We will get to that.
The
We
numbers
will get to that.
But I'm just using that as an example of like
things
are not the same, and like the same old formula that worked for the last 40 years is starting to finally hit its elderly phase where it needs a lot of extra help that it didn't need prior. And now we're transitioning you into a different home, essentially, which is looking like the PC.
Yeah.
And now the PC is going to do majority of your work. Sure, you'll still have some consoles for a few more generations, but that's what this is all looking like. Like even with this article, it's talking about how Activision saved them and they're selling, games on all these different platforms and stuff like that. And the Xbox console isn't as big of a priority. Look around, motherfucker. Sony's doing the same thing. The console is no longer the only priority. It's the same. One's moving a little quicker than the other. I'd say Microsoft's definitely moving at a substantial faster pace of trying to get everything just very digital like. But Sony,
oh my god,
they're not going to sit around and lose money because they have morals. They're not.
No.
And I think it's insane that people to this day still think that PlayStation has these morals that they just are never going to do. How many times did they say they're never going to do something and then they do it? About this, maybe not as much, but near around the same amount of times that Microsoft did the shit. Not even kidding. Both of these companies will tell you something dead to your face. They'll tell you, I will pay you tomorrow, and not pick up the phone until next year. Like you can't trust any of these guys. There's a tweet that I put out on Twitter not that long ago, and this is the last thing I'm gonna say before I kind of let you run off with what you got to say about it. But I put Microsoft said they would not raise prices. PlayStation said we are saving jobs, so take this extra moolah, Bungie. Why do y'all keep believing these big companies care about people? That's all I said. They don't care. Bottom line, bruh. If they could stop production and continue, if Xbox or PlayStation could completely stop production of making hardware right now, they would. I mean, who wants to sell a loss?
No one. Let's stop lying to each other.
Exactly.
No
What
one
you got
wants
to
to
say
do
about it, though, Lo?
Sir X-Man, thank you so much for the super chat. Says Ham, I see he's in denial. PS subs are 50% down. Correction, Sir X-Man.
Wasn't.
Not just that, but correction. The percentage that they're down is 48.67%. Right?
Yeah. It's nowhere near the
But
same.
thank you so much for the super chat, sir. Appreciate you. Let's go back to this article real quick. Xbox hardware sales are way down again in Microsoft's Q4, while gaming content sales skyrocketed again thanks to the company's acquisition of Activision Blizzard last year. All right, so here I'd like to address this first part here about Xbox hardware being way down. Ham, for me, I see this the way, you know how old people are like, oh, you don't have a real job. All you do is sit on a computer all day. Even
Right.
if you're making way more money than me, you don't have a real job. I had a real job. I was a man's man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they act like evolution doesn't exist.
For me, people that are stuck on the hardware and console situation, that's the sort of people that we're talking about. It's the sort of people that cannot accept that their reality is now redundant. The truth is, you can now become a millionaire from your bedroom. That is the absolute truth. If you have the right wiring in your brain and you make the right app at the right time, the whole world is your oyster. That's the world in 2024. And unfortunately, or fortunately, the world in 2024, hardware sales is not even like a tenth of the industry. That's not what gaming is anymore.
No.
That's only
a slice of the pie now. It's not even like it used to be like the pie. Right? It was like the pie, and then like the games, of course. I mean, there's always been a big deal with software, right? But I felt like the consoles just like it was either that or no games.
Yeah.
Compared to now, it's just like no console. What did Xbox say? No console, no problem.
No problem.
That's a reality that a lot of people are having a hard time believing.
Yeah. But the rest of the planet has embraced this a long time ago. The reason mobile has taken over.
Thank you, Lo.
The reason
because
the world has taken.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt you so many damn times in a row, but you nailed it right there. It's just like, bro, what they're advertising, I could have did for the last few years. You're just now seeing
You've been doing it for years.
Thank you. I have been. I've been remote playing. I've been doing the whole cloud gaming and stuff like that. I've been playing in places where I don't have an Xbox or even an Xbox controller. Been doing this, but now that it's on the screen, it's a realization, and people are like, "Oh, this isn't right," and it's like, no, it's how your average gamer is playing.
This
now.
has already happened. This has already happened. You know that meme in Boondocks that says, now we can do this the easy way or we can do this the hard way. Bro, this situation is to the point where this has already been done to you. You are now just coming to the realization that it has happened, but it has already happened. Make peace with it so it'll hurt less. But it's over. The shift has already been made. The reason mobile has been owning the whole of gaming since 2015 is because the majority of human beings on the planet have embraced that consoles are dinosaurs. Whether it's because of practicality or whether it's because it's cheaper. The reasons don't really matter. The facts do. And the facts point to most people aren't on console. It just is what it is. And companies will always look to target most people, whatever it is. It's why Disney, when they saw that, oh, movie tickets is not where the money's at when it comes to movies, opened a streaming platform. It's why you have Hulu and Netflix and all these other guys, because everyone figured out that this antiquated model of cinema is now not the main thing. It's now like an ancillary part of what we call the movie or TV industry. Now it's not cable. Now it's not the cinema. Now it's the streaming platform.
Yep.
Gaming is coming to the realization that it's not consoles anymore. It's that simple. Yo, Danny, thanks so much for the member chat. Go ahead, Am.
I was just going to say, how many people had the realization without fully realizing until a few years of being into it that Netflix was their cable service?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like people, like the same people day in and day out that will tell you how important it is to have physical this, physical that, are then turning on YouTube on their phone, then turning on Netflix on their phone, turning on all of these things. Why text a person when you can call them?
Yeah.
Why use the mail service when you can just drive it to them yourself? You know why?
People always go for what's easier.
Because it's easier, and it's just not only is it easier, but it's time. It's time that you get to save, which is the most important thing in your entire life. All you have is time. So if I can spend my time better by, I don't think a lot of people agree with this, but it just is what it is. If I can save myself an hour of being able to game, let's say I have to be in bed by 10, or actually let's say I have to be in bed by 1 a.m.
Okay.
The game drops at midnight.
Mm-hmm.
Do I want to be at GameStop in line, or do I want the game pre-installed at home?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because by the time I get that from GameStop and then get home, it's now 12:30. And I don't even have the game installed yet. Keep in mind, it needs the internet to even install the shit. Usually the shit ain't even all the way on the disc.
Then don't forget the updates. It's 2 in the morning by the time you want to play.
Hey, all these people saying, hey, we care so much about this. Y'all are the same people perpetuating the problem. Because You were not there when tapes turned into CDs, right? And I can't just record it easier. Now I have to buy this whole CD ripping thing, and I got to do this.
When CDs turned into MP3s. Remember that shit?
Yeah,
Remember
now I
MP3s?
gotta go get a computer and a headset and walk around with this thing, and I gotta make sure my computer can. Dude, no matter what happens in evolution, you have to relearn and just deal with it. It just is what it is. Unless you yourself can manage the problem and then conduct it and deal with it within your own confines, you're going to have to roll with the rest of the population, bruh. It's just the way it is.
And Ham, there's even another level to this one. You said, do you want to be at GameStop in the line, right, getting the new game, or do you want to be at home with it pre-installed? There's another level to it. Even when it's pre-installed, some of these games have day one patches. So even if you have it pre-installed, you still have to download the day one patch. So would you rather be at home downloading the day one patch, or do you want to just be on the cloud and as soon as it's available, and you can just play it?
That's a whole nother level that I didn't even think about.
Just press play, baby. Let's go. Simple.
Servers are full because all the cloud people got there first.
Done.
Oh
Done.
shit!
Now you have to wait in line with your. Now you have to wait in line with your landlocked console. Good luck. Good luck. Let the people that are playing in the future go first. When they're done, they'll give you the leftovers. Let me get this super chats real quick. Yo, Danny, membership chat, has been a member for 10. Thank you so much, Yo, Danny. Says, y'all see Nadella answer to investor asking about Xbox. There's an article here from The Verge where we will get into some of Nadella's responses. I'm not sure if the response to the shareholders is here. No, it's not. The response to the shareholders is not in this article. We'll look into it later on in the show. Thank you so much for the super chat. Serexman says, only fans make millions from their bedroom. Oh my god. That's not what you know what? Okay, sure. The point still stands. You know, the world has changed. You don't need a crew. You don't need nothing. You just need a camera and an internet connection. Exactly. And you can make all the bank. Dear Easy, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, remember the slogan, drop the cord from cable TV. I still remember that one, Am. Did you see that ad?
I don't remember it.
Okay. We saw the ad. Down south. Was in our faces the whole time. No one listened. Yes, there is. Thank you for that super chat. Exactly. This thing has been going slowly for years now. No one's been taking it seriously. But here we are. Don't mind the download at all. Got fast download speeds. Again, Big Mad Mo. Again. What's fast download speeds versus stream? Huh? It's levels, bro. Let's go back to the article. The company posted its earnings today, which included a report of hardware revenue down 42% year over year. Hardware sales saw a significant dip of 31% year over year last quarter as well. Those sales were up slightly 3% in Q2, thanks to a series of holiday discounts and promotions. But hardware was also down 7% prior to that in Q1, and yes, dropping steadily for several quarters prior to that. For what it's worth, Xbox is far from the only console maker seeing dips in hardware sales. Everyone's impacted, according to Circana's most recent report. Xbox, Sony, and Nintendo also double-digit percentage declines in May of 2022, and the Switch saw the most significant drop. This is likely reflective of the fact that all three consoles are on the back halves of their life cycles and is reflective of fairly normal cyclical industry trends. Xbox has already confirmed that a next-gen console is in the works and has expressed plans to share more information about hardware of some sort around the holiday season. Gaming revenue overall appears to be doing more than fine in terms of year-on-year comparisons, even setting quarterly records. This is largely due to the boost offered by the acquisition of Activision Blizzard. It wasn't there to make money for the company last year, now it is, so the numbers have gone up. Gaming revenue was up 44% year over year, but with 48 points of net impact from the acquisition, this indicates that the Xbox's not Activision Blizzard related business isn't doing quite as well as it was last year. Xbox content and services revenue fared better, up 61% year over year, with 58 points of net. You see, this is what I don't like, Jan. This is what I don't like. Gaming revenue, listen to this. Gaming revenue was up 44% year over year, but with 48 points of net impact from the acquisition. This indicates that Xbox's not Activision Blizzard related business isn't doing quite well. These are the shenanigans I'm talking about. These are the shenanigans. Oh, Ham is doing fine, right? He now drives a Land Rover. But if he wasn't married to if Ham wasn't married to Kim Kardashian, he'd be catching the bus.
Okay. So we're really going out there. Yeah. Okay.
Gotcha. It's like, bro, no one cares about this alternate universe you want to present to us because it's the alternate. This is not the multiverse, brother. This is not the multiverse. Right? This is the sacred universe. All right. This is the one we live in. And in the one that we live in, Ham drives a Range Rover.
Oh.
Right? Make peace with it.
That sounds like an alternate universe. That definitely does. That definitely doesn't sound like me. I'm more of an American car kind of guy. Unless we're starting to talk about like exotic vehicles. Unless we're starting to talk about like
the equivalent of a Land Rover. Hold on. What is the equivalent of a Land Rover in the US?
Like a Lincoln. I'd say a Lincoln.
Fine. So I'm
not saying Land Rover is bad. Land Rover is a dope vehicle. It's just not my thing. I like bigger. I like a little bit bulkier. Like I just recently.
Have you seen the size of Land Rovers, bro?
Yeah, but you don't understand what I'm saying. I guess
you don't understand.
No. I understand. Like Land Rovers can be big, but they're not like your average Land Rover isn't like huge. Right? It's just fairly regular size. I mean, my mom has one. She has like the most average Land Rover of like Land Rovers. So, but what is it? I have, right now I have a Yukon that I'm selling, a 99 Yukon that I'm selling. And that's the kind of size I like. I like a bigger vehicle. It's a Yukon, like the size Yukon. It's not the XL. It's the Tahoe like version of it. And I'm selling that one because I just recently got Avalanche, a Chevy Avalanche, and I like that vehicle. It's a big boy though.
All right, Ham likes big trucks. Noted. All right.
I like big trucks and I like big cars too. My first car was an 81 Buick LeSabre. My favorite big car that I had was an 89 Ford Grand Marquis. Not Grand Marquis. Ford Grand Marquis is not Ford. That's Mercury. Crown Vic, my 89 Crown Vic. That was my joint. I had kickers in the trunk on that joint. Oh man, that car was my baby. I made a lot of bad decisions in that vehicle.
Okay, noted. After we leave that tangent, let's move on. After leaving that tangent, let's move on to the next subsection of this whole Microsoft Activision thing.
Remake Station. It's back.
Hold on, let me put this up on the screen. So, Ham, Microsoft isn't updating its Xbox Game Pass subscriber. Okay, this is from The Verge. Sorry, this is from The Verge. It isn't updating its Game Pass subscriber numbers this quarter, but the company did share a metric around active gaming users. This is the quote from Satya. We now have over 500, count them, 500 million monthly active users across platforms and devices, said CEO Satya Nadella on an earnings call. Our content pipeline has never been stronger. Ham, it's 500 million people playing Xbox related content.
I mean, that couldn't have been more of a political statement. If I like I was as political as it gets. Never been stronger.
Political.
It just sounded like something.
Welcome
like
in, Sarge.
It just sounded like something you hear in politics. You know, our company's never been stronger than this.
Never been stronger. Okay. Well, to that question, Ham, to that joke of yours, has Xbox ever had 500 million people on all of their devices combined?
No, but they also haven't had this many devices for people to play on before either. And some of those devices aren't their devices. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just they have their software literally like everywhere. So like, I don't know. Like I feel like they're
You know
taking
why I say this has to be counted. Let me tell you why it should be
what
counted.
I'm saying is I'm sure they're taking a few of those numbers from Nintendo, a few of those numbers from PlayStation, a few of those numbers from, you know, what they provide to Steam players. I'm wondering if it has to do with that or if it's literally just within their ecosystem, and I don't think it is that.
But let me tell you something,
I don't think it is that.
Let me tell you something. There's a reason why you can't play Ghost of Tsushima, why you can't play Helldivers, why you can't play God of War, why you can't play all these PlayStation games without signing into PSN. Because when it's PlayStation's turn, they will be reporting every single sign-in that's not on their console as one of their monthly active users.
Absolutely, 100% they will. Well, isn't that their job to do that though? Because that's what they're technically talking about.
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying there's no need for you to even be trying to sift through like what you're trying to do right now.
I see what you're saying. You're saying
there's no necessity.
Don't discount the success, is what you're saying.
They
Don't
all
discount
count.
the success.
Yes,
I feel that. That's real. That's a real thing to bring up, and I feel like a lot of people need to hear that shit. Right,
yeah.
because if you go to Twitter right now and just look at all of these Xbox, you know, like news journalists, people that feel like they always know what's going on behind the closed doors, or maybe some of them do, and I just am not as privy to it. But like, they're all saying that, like, you know, oh, the success of Xbox wouldn't have been the success of Xbox without this or that. And it's just like, I mean, you could say that about any company that's bought somebody and got success off of it, right? I mean, yeah. I mean, we're literally talking about anybody. Do you think Sony wasn't screaming from the high heavens when they acquired Insomniac and put out Marvel Spider-Man?
Man,
they were screaming for the high heavens. I don't remember anybody saying without
if it wasn't for Insomniac carrying Sony.
These are the numbers of what PlayStation looks like without Insomniac Spider-Man. Like I don't remember any of that. So I totally see what you're saying with saying, hey, no need to discount the success. Success is success. What they did was exactly what you said that you didn't like. They purchased success, but isn't that the point of? I'm sorry to kind of be
Competing.
like the naysayer to a lot of these people that feel like that's bad, but like in a basic business decision, that's the thing to do, right? That's the thing
Yeah.
that I mean, if any of us watching right now, all the people not watching even right now, if any of us had as much capital and was looking around and seeing that somebody can bring me a substantial amount of capital and it only costs me a fraction
Of my wealth.
of my own capital to consume their wealth as well, would you not do it?
You have an obligation.
Especially when
to it.
you're missing that piece in your own puzzle. I mean, are we just I feel like all these people that are saying all this negative stuff are just reconfirming that Microsoft knows how to do business.
Yeah.
They know how to keep themselves afloat. I mean, that's all I'm seeing when people say, "Oh, they made a purchase and it worked."
Hello. What was supposed to happen? What? What are you talking? Oh, the Warriors didn't really win those 2 championships and they got KD. Are you high?
Oh, they won. It wasn't.
Matt-
It wasn't the most lovely championships, but
But a win is a win, brother.
it's in the history books though now.
Matt brings up another great analogy. Lakers wouldn't be relevant franchises if they didn't have Magic, Kareem, Wilt, Jerry, Kobe, Shaq, LeBron James. So what? Are we going to
Artest.
sit here and say, dude, if a wish was a fifth, bro, we'd be drunk.
World
We need to
peace.
stop with this if stuff. Stop with the if, dog. It is what it is. All right? These players did play for the Lakers, and Activision is Xbox. Xbox is Activision. All right? Make peace with it. Let me get this super chat real quick.
Wait,
Thank you
what
so
did
much.
the last one
The-
say?
Oh, yeah, Ham. You like it bigger. Pause.
One size
Talking about your
does
car.
not fit all.
All right. Thank you for the super chat, Vic. Says, Logue, stop your pony shenanigans. I will never stop, Vic. I will never stop as I sit here and tell people to accept that Xbox is dominating on the financial end. That's me being a pony, bro. That's me being a pony. Anyways, let's move on from this. Let's go to some copium, Ham.
Sure.
Just a little bit. Just a sprinkle of copium.
What's
So
coping
Mr. Tom Warren tweeted the whole 500 monthly active user thing. And then this guy, the real turnip lord, said, don't forget, around 300 million of these are Candy Crush players, as confirmed previously. Sure, it's a lot of people, but how many are actually paying consumers who play more than one free-to-play game a month? I want to go first on this one, Ham. If you have anything to say, you can leave it alone. And this goes back to all the analogies we've been having, right? PlayStation does not exist to make art. PlayStation exists to make a profit. Nintendo exists to make a profit. Look up their history. Nintendo is not a gaming company. Nintendo, at some point in the 60s or 70s, had like 20 different divisions. Nintendo had a taxi company. They were trying to make money any which way possible. All right? So the first thing, we need to first establish that these companies exist.
No, I want you to prove this taxi service thing real quick.
Are you serious right now?
I want to see this. You're lying to me right now. There's no way that Nintendo had all these other businesses that they dove into before becoming a card company and then a gaming company. Don't tell me that. Don't put that on the screen.
Oh, I'm about to do that, motherfucker. So as you can tell here, this is from Nintendo's Strange History. Includes the Yakuza, a taxi company, etc., etc. This is an excerpt from the article. A taxi company was established, but problems with labor unions thwarted hopes of Nintendo's Dia becoming the 1960s incarnation of Uber. In what must surely be the company's least celebrated business enterprise, Nintendo set up a love hotel. All right.
Yo!
All right.
That's a transition.
No,
I was coming here to get the fact about the taxi, not the hotel.
People need to get it out their head.
So you say so you were saying that they were way ahead of the curve.
Way ahead of the curve. Dude, we weren't even dreaming about Uber. You guys are already thinking about it. So,
oh man, like as we've said many episodes before, there is nothing new under the sun.
Nothing. So, going back to the point I was trying to make here, to the real turnip lord, none of these companies are in here for artistic endeavors. The bottom line is literally the bottom line. They're just trying to make bank. All right. So this right here, this is some bullshit. All right. 300 million of these are Candy Crush players. Motherfucker, don't nobody care where the money's coming from. Nintendo was willing to make a love hotel. All right.
Nintendo made a love hotel. Yo.
No one cares that. First off, we don't know if the 300 million is really Candy Crush. That's the first point. A real turn-up didn't share any links to any verifiable sources. That's the first point. Second, even if we assume that these are the Candy Crush players, bro, Microsoft wants to make money from gaming. Mobile gaming is number one on the planet. How is this a diss towards Microsoft? How is this a bad thing towards Microsoft's purchase? So right off the bat, we know we're dealing with someone that doesn't know the purpose of companies. Like, companies exist to make profit any way possible. If Microsoft were to find out that they're going to make 10 trillion by making these cups instead of video games, you can bet your bottom dollar Microsoft will pivot to making cups. Tomorrow, they'll do it. As soon as they have verifiable data that says that, they'll do it. Moving on. Sure, it's a lot of people. Motherfucker, this is where you should have just put a full stop. Sure, it's a lot of people. Okay, this defeats everything I've said and everything I'm going to say. That's the end of the discussion right there. But he kept on going. But how many are actually paying customers? How dumb. Oh my God. For years now, for years, everyone has seen that pie chart that shows where the money is in gaming. We've all seen the pie chart that says mobile gaming is 80% in terms of money. So what is this question? How many are actually, motherfucker, the people that are paying are 80% of the entire industry. There's the answer to your question. Next, how many How many are actually paying consumers who play more than one free to play? Oh my god! All right, so that's all I have to say. This was one of the copiest copes I've seen in years. It was embarrassing to look at, and I just thought, you know what? I'm gonna put this on the show today because this is ridiculous. Is there anything you want to add to this, Am, or can we move on?
I mean, I feel like you tore that apart. So, I mean, I'm still, the Love Hotel is still fucking.
You're still stuck in the Love Hotel. I'm gonna send you this book.
I need a way out. Somebody help.
I'm gonna send you the book. It is wild. These companies, man, and the people that run them. And people are out here acting like these companies are Mother Teresa or something. Anyways, that's the end of that. Let's move on to the Bungie thing, because people really want to talk about the whole.
That was a banger. Go on, Ed.
It was a hell of a segue. Bungie CEO claims layoffs were due to Destiny 2 underperformance. In an internal town hall meeting addressing a Monday round of layoffs that impacted multiple departments, Bungie CEO Pete Parsons allegedly told remaining employees that the company had kept the right people to continue work on Destiny 2. Speaking to multiple current and recent laid-off employees, IGN has confirmed reports that Bungie took responsibility for the layoffs rather than laying them at the feet of parent company Sony. Parsons told employees that the layoffs were largely due to underperformance of Destiny 2 over the last year, as well as lower than expected pre-orders for upcoming expansion, The Final Shape. You should have bought more pre-orders. IGN can now independently confirm reports that The Final Shape has been delayed to June 2024. What? What do you mean? This is what the fuck? This is from last year. Bro. What? Oh my god, IGN, you're embarrassing me. All right, hold on. Wait, so you're telling me they did layoffs? Wait, so they did layoffs last year and they did more layoffs now?
Yes.
And IGN doesn't have an article. All right, let's move on to the next subject, and then I'll search somewhere else that's not IGN for an article.
Yeah, that profile picture is really working for you.
Whatever, dog. Just give them some time. IGN will have something by tomorrow. I promise.
Oh,
anyways,
no. So they have something now. You just missed it.
Anyways, PS Plus Extra. You saw me do the search in like live. The last thing that was Bungie related was a month ago. Anyway, PS Plus Extra player count sees big decline in July 2024. Here it is. According to data sampled from over 3.1 million PlayStation Network accounts. Okay, so I think it's necessary for us to point out this sample size, because I would do the same thing if it was Xbox. So let's be fair.
Check your Twitter, look. I got you.
PlayStation has almost 100, over 100 million players. Yes, can we agree on that?
Sure.
Okay. This data, right? And I hope Sir X-Man is still in the chat. This data, it was sampled from over 3.1 million PlayStation Network accounts. So even if we're talking about, I don't know, let's stretch it. Let's say it was 5 million PlayStation Network accounts. That's not even 10% of the entire player base. But I just want you to take this into consideration when we get into the discussion of the whole percentages. Anyway, True Trophies found that PS Plus Extra and Premium games underwent a 48.67% drop in player numbers in July 2024 when compared to June 2024's game lineup. The decline in player count is perplexing considering Remnant 2 is the third most popular game on PS Plus Extra in 2024 so far, and Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion saw a whopping 1,171% uptick in active player counts after it joined the service. All said and done, July ranked as the third weakest month in 2024 for PS Plus Extra and Premium on True Trophies charts. So this is not a global view of the entire PlayStation network. This is just on True Trophies, which is a little over 3.1 million accounts. Go ahead, Ham. Give us your take with all that added context. You can call me a pony for defending.
I mean, I think that goes without saying. But but my whole thing is like, I feel like the whole idea of like half of their whole thing is ridiculous. But but I think the real story is they've been stinking after the price increase. It hasn't. The price increase hasn't reflected in the last several months of them showing what they had to give you. They had hot games come out, right? They had like Rise of the Ronin came out. That was, you know, a hot game for the PlayStation 5. That Stellar Yams came out. Helldivers 2 came out. Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth
Rise
came out.
Was made. You need to check that out.
It may have been, but perception. But I'm just saying, on release they came in hot. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And the service didn't give you none of it. And sure, maybe they're not. Maybe I understand. Hey, maybe you don't want to do day one releases, but like it's been what, like 9 months since Spider-Man 2 came out. It's been 9 months since Spider-Man 2 came out. They actually what didn't they take Spider-Man out of PlayStation Plus or something like that?
Yes, before the release.
Games out that matter. What do they get replaced with? You see what I'm saying? You raise the prices on me. That's like raising the prices on me for Peacock and taking The Office out. It's like, why the fuck am I paying this much for Peacock? Why am I paying an extra $3 for Peacock and I can't see Michael Scott no more? I can't see Parks and Rec no more, or something like that, right? Like, what the fuck am I doing in this service? Like, y'all don't even have your own premium stuff in here. Like, what the fuck am I doing here? What, you gave me a PlayStation 2 game? Cool. Come on, man.
God damn. The shade. PlayStation 2 was awesome.
Like, if it was undeniably good, I'd have it, but I don't.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
It's not.
If it was undeniable, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now.
Yeah, the PS Plus service, although I think it's very good, right? I think it's very good. I think it suffers from people comparing it to Game Pass, because Game Pass is so much better. Like it's like comparing James Harden to LeBron. I've used this analogy before. James Harden is awesome. If you check his stats, the guy is awesome. He's amazing. But if you put him next to one of the GOATs, it's like, what are we talking about? And if we're going to use a gaming analogy, I would say Remnant. Yeah, okay, Remnant. Let's use Remnant. Remnant's a very good game, man. Remnant's a very good game.
It is.
It's like a Souls-like with guns. But if you put Remnant next to Elden Ring, how does Remnant look?
Well, it doesn't look great. It is still great,
And
but it
that's-
doesn't look as attractive, right?
that's-
I mean, it's
and
just
that's
like you
PS Plus
take
next
a
to-
you take a good-looking girl from your high school, and then you're like, oh man, that's like or a good-looking girl in your college or whatever, however you want to think of it, right? Like you're in, let's say you're in college right now, and you holler at a chick, and you're like, yo, she's a good-looking girl, and then on come in the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, and they sit at your table. Like, it's like, all right, well, well, like, like you still look good, but but they got pom poms. Like, I don't know, like they got them pom poms. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
They have 0% fat. You know what I mean? Or they have like 0.5% fat. Like, no offense, but it just is what it is, So, Lady Fox, I don't agree. PS Plus suffers from price hike and underwhelming content.
100%.
No.
Yes,
Ham,
I'm telling you, Loki.
no.
Yes,
Ham,
it's so
Ham.
underwhelming.
Hold on. If PS Plus said our games, also side note, welcome, Lady Foxfire. If PS Plus said day one, Sony exclusives day one, Square Enix, Final Fantasy games day one, let's go, let's do this. Game Pass, let's go head to head. You're telling me that would not make a gigantic difference? I'm signing up to PS Plus tomorrow. I'm paying a year of PS Plus tomorrow as soon as Sony does that.
Yeah, but they haven't.
And no, but I'm just disagreeing with Lady Foxfire in the chat, saying that it's not really about the price hikes, because Sony's doing price hikes, Xbox is doing price hikes, everyone's doing.
But what I feel like she's saying, I don't feel like she's particularly saying that, hey, the price hikes in particular are the only causation. I think it's many factors, but I think two that stick out to the average person is what's that price looking like, or what was I paying before, and what am I receiving, or what did I have before? And those two things aren't really great. I mean, I just use an example for myself. I had PlayStation Plus Premium, not just the regular version, Premium, all last year, the whole last year. And I played around with it and whatnot, but it didn't really have anything. And here's where I kind of agree with you, because I have both consoles, right? So I'm playing from Game Pass and I'm playing from PlayStation Plus, right? And a lot of the games were similar. That's also an issue to me, because now you're not standing out. So it's like, okay, you dropped Remnant now, but Xbox had that 8 months ago.
Last year. They had it last year, dude.
And that only goes to show, not only were they kind of behind with adding maybe that game, or maybe, Xbox had some sort of deal where they could only have the service for that game or something. I don't know what's going on in the background. But my whole point is, it's like, where was the fight during that moment of Xbox saying, hey, we got this and it's not even ours? Where was we have this and it's not ours either? Like, there is no tit for tat with it at all. And you raised the prices. Like, just think about that for a second. Like, Hulu gets, all of a sudden it says, we get the WWE on Hulu. I know that's actually going to Netflix soon. Or actually, let me just go ahead and flip that. Let's say you got Netflix, you got Netflix and you got Hulu. And you're like, man, I want to get rid of one of them. I don't know which one to get rid of. and then the one drops, WWE content in it, and you're a fan of that, it
I'm
seems
out.
to be obvious, like, I'm gonna get rid of Hulu, right?
Yeah.
But then Hulu says, we got all the NFL games for you. Now you're stuck.
All right. Now we need to talk.
And that's what I'm saying. Sony didn't never do that. They didn't do that. Whether they have day one releases or not, they don't have to have day one releases, but you have to have something interesting.
You know which day one I remember that was on PS Plus, which is crazy. It was Stray.
Yeah, that was a big deal.
That was the last big deal that was day one, which is crazy because it's like a little indie game. I did write a review for it. I loved it, but it's not something that's going to make me go like, oh, I now need to pay for PS Plus because of just Stray. Whereas Xbox, it's not just the first parties, it's consistent third party games, either dropping day one or like 3 months after it launched. It's crazy. So, which is why I want to reiterate my point. I think PS Plus's biggest weakness is Game Pass. If Game Pass didn't exist, we'd enjoy PS Plus more. The problem is that comparison is the thief of joy. And everyone that's on PS Plus, or before you pay for PS Plus, you look at Game Pass and you're like, what am I doing?
Well, but then you also like let's take Game Pass completely out of the equation for a second.
Mm-hmm.
You get, well, let's say you have, let's go back to the Netflix thing again. Let's go back to the fucking Netflix thing again.
All right.
You have Netflix, you get told, hey, we're upping the price again. It goes from 21 to 25. We're upping the price again. But we're taking out we're taking out one of our beloved series, though. Soon after that goes into effect.
That's not great.
It's just not a good look, and that's what that service kind of looks like from a person like myself that's been watching it from the outside, like thinking, I'm always contemplating, I wonder if it's going to be good. I wonder if it's going to be good. I wonder if it's going to be good. And like, I'm waiting for that moment to kind of get in, because I'm not against their subscription service. Like I said, I'm even thinking about Ubisoft Plus. I don't want to play every fucking Ubisoft game, but I'm seeing.
Yeah, but you want to hop on, then hop off with Ubisoft Plus. That's the thing.
I want to be able to play Star Wars. I want to be able to play Assassin's Creed when it comes out, right?
But
You're
have
giving me
these guys, they don't make the money with people like you who hop on and hop off. The goal is to get people to hop on and stay on. Because if you do the math, right? If you subscribe to Ubisoft Plus for an entire year, it's more money than you would have paid for the most like exclusive version of Assassin's Creed Shadows, the one with all the extras and all the DLC, etc., etc. Their goal really is to get people to subscribe to Ubisoft Plus. But
yeah, but it's also their job. It's also their job to keep things fresh in there.
Only Game Pass
to keep
can do
a person
that.
like me wanting to subscribe. You think, like if I'm being honest with myself, if this game comes out at the end of August, I got September to play through Star Wars, right? And I have other games that I'm bouncing through, which they're hoping for, right? They don't want you to just breeze through the game and unsubscribe, right? I have other games that I'm playing as well. And then Shadow comes out. Well, then that got me for 3 months right there. That got me for a quarter year right there. Right. And to me, that's the point. It's then their job to say, hey, guess what's coming in February? Guess what's coming in
January.
May? You know what I'm saying? Oh, we got a new Far Cry for you. Oh, we got a new Division for you. A proper one. Not that Homeland Heartland bullshit. Oh, you know, oh, we got a new something else down the line. Like, yo, I'm the customer. You cater to me. Like, I'm like if you made your service only worth $15, if you made your service only worth $20 for me to hop in and hop out, that's not my problem. I'm the consumer here.
And you see, Ham, again, you're just reiterating my point at this point.
How is that?
Because none of these PS Plus, Ubisoft Plus, none of these services can do what you're asking for right now. None of these services can every 2 months give you a game that you're going to put in.
Not every 2 months, but at least every 3.
Not even that.
They got to try. I mean, that's
well,
the game.
Until that happens, Ham, until that happens, my point still stands. These services are good. Ubisoft Plus is good. PS Plus is good. But as long as Game Pass exists and they keep torturing people and giving people stress about how they're going to install all these bangers, they're not so good.
I disagree.
Yes, Sour Blow said I paid 1 month to try Sea of Thieves, then decided. I think we would appreciate these other subscriptions if Game Pass wasn't so good, or if it didn't exist. But the problem is that every week or every 2 weeks, Game Pass is throwing that thing on Twitter where there's like 5 or 10 games, and you know there's always 2 that you're like, I really want to play those 2. And that's every 2 weeks. And unless you don't have like something to occupy you on a daily basis, like you don't have a job or you don't have a family or whatever, you are flooded with games. So you probably will not find an excuse to unsubscribe from Game Pass. But I can see myself, I have unsubscribed from PS Plus. I have never subscribed to Ubisoft Plus. Because before pulling the trigger on all these things, I always think about, okay, what's on Game Pass right now? Then it's like, oh, okay, so never mind. That's how I look at it. Anyways,
but my whole thing is, if you take Xbox out of it, like let's say you don't even have an Xbox, and like this doesn't even like Game Pass isn't even on, like it doesn't even matter. Then at that point,
PS Plus is awesome. At that point, if you don't have an Xbox, if you cannot,
no, it's not. And I'm here to tell you that it's not. For the price raise and what you've got with the price being raised, it is literally not. And the stats are showing you that, hey, it's not looking too pretty. And it's not just because of like Game Pass, it's because of what you're doing with your own company. That's like, I don't know, that's like the Switch saying, hey, we're having a hard time selling consoles because of the PS5. Like, no, it's not. You painted yourself in a bad corner. It's the same thing with Xbox. Like Xbox can't make sales because the PlayStation's hot. No, that's not why. It's because of a lot of other factors. One of them, in my opinion, being marketing and just being out there for people to even recognize who you are. We talk about marketing all the time for Xbox on this channel. So like, in my opinion, it's just like, yo, they marketed their PlayStation Plus fine. It's just what they had to show wasn't appealing. And what they've done throughout the time of people that have been with PlayStation Plus, they've seen a decline in how it is holding on to some of its games. Like I said, some of the best games left, and then the price went up. Like, it's just it doesn't make any sense to me. And like I said, you don't even have to be an owner of an Xbox or know anything about that to be like, hey man, I'm watching Netflix and I tell you what, they've taken away some content and the content that they put on has been very par, and I don't really, like, I don't want to watch this movie, so I'm not going to watch it.
For me, if I only had PS Plus, if I only had a PlayStation, and I had no idea that Game Pass exists, this is just my perspective. I'd be satisfied with PS Plus. I'd be happy with PS Plus. Because I don't know that Remnant was already available on Game Pass last year. I don't know that. Because games don't rot, Tam. It's one of the jokes that I like to throw out there. Games don't go bad. A good game is still a good game. If Xbox can figure out a way to put Dark Souls 3 on Game Pass, for me, that would be amazing. I'm sure a lot of people will meme on it. Oh, it's 10 years old. It's old or whatever. A great game is a great game. And for me, it would be fantastic the day that Dark Souls 1, 3, because we don't talk about 2, 1, 3, Elden Ring, or Demon Souls made it to Game Pass. That would be a day to wave pom-poms.
Think about it in this way then, Logue. Think about
Remnant is awesome. Going to PS Plus.
Think about it this way then. How successful was Remnant when it came out?
It was solid. It didn't change. It didn't break the internet, but it was solid.
So a solid game that people aren't running out to go purchase comes to a service a year later.
Yes.
Do you think that all of a sudden everyone's a fan of that game?
Not a fan of the game, but it's still good value for your money.
I'm just saying, if they didn't care about it then and they didn't want to buy it for almost a whole year, and then it comes to the service and it's still not for the like Remnant is a game that you like. It's a game that I like as well. But like, we all know that Remnant ain't for everybody, bro. Like, it's not a super easy game.
Niche.
It is a niche game. So with a niche game dropping onto a service a year later, it's, to me, I'm sorry, bro. It's just not, it's not cutting it for something that you're trying to pay monthly for when you have other things that were there that were better in a lot of people's eyes. So it's like you got rid of this and replaced it with that.
But if I'm following your analogy, if I'm still following your analogy, if I only have a PlayStation, I probably own those games you're talking about that they took away. I probably already own them because I don't have to spread my money between many platforms. Because right now, in this real reality that we live in, I have a PlayStation, I have an Xbox, I have a PC, and on PC I have multiple storefronts that I need to spread the cash around. But if we're going to sit here and pretend that I only own the PlayStation, them removing games from PS Plus, exclusives from PS Plus, is not changing my life, because there's a good chance all those games you talked about, whether it's God of War, Spider-Man, etc., the odds are in this alternate universe, I've already bought these games. So that does not move the needle. Simple.
I mean, for me, it just sounds like you're telling me that, hey, I'm fine with mediocre. I'm really okay with it. Because if
all you're playing is PlayStation, yes. Because you don't know, Remember that quote?
I don't think people are that naive
from Matrix. No, that's what I'm trying to tell you, You can only be naive, right? If you don't know. There's that quote from Matrix: ignorance is bliss. You are the one who brought up the analogy. What if you were someone that does not have access to any of the other platforms and does not even know what's happening on the other platforms. And I'm telling you that if you don't have access to all these other platforms and all you play is PlayStation, you're good with PS Plus.
I
And when
don't
they
agree.
remove exclusives, if you remove exclusives, there's a very high chance that you've already played those exclusives when they got put into the subscription, or B, bought and played those exclusives. So it doesn't change your life or your outlook on the subscription service because you already own the games that are being removed. It's like
Let
me
Xbox
when they
take
eventually
Halo.
remove
Let Xbox take Halo out of Game Pass, and I would want you to keep that same energy.
But PlayStation didn't promise that their first party games would first off go day one, and second of all, PlayStation didn't promise that they'd never remove first party games from PS Plus. So those two expectations don't match.
Whether it's promised or not, a bad look is a bad look.
That's true. If you never played games,
I don't have to promise I'm gonna pick you up from school. I don't have to promise my daughter I'll pick her up from school. But if I don't pick her up, it's not a good look.
Dude, inferred expectations on a corporation. Again, this analogy is fine, right? With your relationship with your daughter, but it's a corporation. Again, we've spoken about this, Ham. Trying to assign like human traits to a corporation will only lead you to have a downfall. It's not going to end well. We just got done talking about Nintendo wanting to have a love hotel. They just want to make money. It's not that deep.
Yeah, but a perception in something that you are advertising, and then I don't know, not really being as powerful as you made yourself out to look. That's good. Because they made it seem like, oh, you're gonna get something, but you should have took the understanding of what you were gonna get when they gave you a dead game.
What are we talking about here? Are you talking about
when they increased the prices for PlayStation Plus? They gave you Saints Row.
Terrible game. Well, I guess, Ham. In that instance, what we can say is they were very clear about the lack of quality that they would be delivering with this increase in price. They were very precise. It was our fault. It was our fault. It was our fault for not paying attention. Like, the price went up, the quality came down. Instead of us being like, oh, okay, so this is now the new standard. We didn't believe in that. So it's our fault, really. They were honest with us. They were like, no, now you're paying more money and we're going to give you trash games.
Oh, they raised the price, and like when it was time to re-up on the subscription, I said, I took the credit card and everything off of there. I was like, nope. Not a chance.
Pretty much. Thank you, Yodani. Most Android users know the Apple platform relatively well. Most Apple users have no idea how good Android is now. Ignorance is bliss. So they pay for iCloud, pay up the ass for extra storage. Bliss, fuck. Pretty much. That's pretty much where it's at. And that's why PlayStation, oh my God. All right, Big Man Mo. Jeez. Speaking of these 220 people, let's move on to that.
Yeah, did you get what I sent you?
Yeah, I got it, and I'm now opening in 2 seconds.
I sent you two things. You should open up the one above. Yeah, perfect.
All right, so the new path for Bungie. This is from the official Bungie.net website.
They make it sound so positive. The new path.
This morning, I'm sharing with all of you some of the most difficult changes we've ever had to make as a studio. Due to rising costs of development and industry shifts, as well as enduring economic conditions, it has become clear that we need to make substantial changes to our cost structure and focus development efforts entirely on Destiny and Marathon. That means beginning today, 220, count them, 220 of our roles will be eliminated, representing roughly 17% of our studio's workforce. These actions will affect every level of the company, including most of our executive and senior leadership roles. Pete Parsons, will you be one of the people leaving Bungie?
Oh shit, you're
Yeah.
asking the question. Got it.
Let's move on. Today is a difficult and painful day. Dude, I swear these I hate these letters. Today is a difficult and painful day, especially for our departing colleagues, all of which have made important and valuable contributions to Bungie. Our goal is to support them with the utmost care and respect. For everyone affected by this job reduction, we will be offering a generous exit package, including severance, bonus, and health coverage. I realize all of this is hard news, especially following the success we have seen with the final shape. But as we've navigated the
Oh, why'd you even say that?
yeah, we're making money. Get the fuck out.
Talking about, like, in an apology, there's always an awkward moment where somebody twists the knife. And that was like one of those knife twisters right there, where it's like, oh shit, like you're acknowledging success in the
Y'all are
midst of
making
saying
bank out
fuck
here.
you. Like it really reminds me. It really does remind me of Tango, GameWorks with Xbox.
Oh my god! Don't take me back there, Ham.
No. It does though. It does, because it's just like you're acknowledging some success, right? You were more than happy to say Xbox was behind that reward,
Yeah.
right? But when it came,
Yep.
but when it came to supporting me, you can go fuck home.
Yep. Anyway, let's go back to the letters, crocodile tears. But as we've navigated the broader economic realities over the last year, and after exhausting all other mitigation options, this has become a necessary decision to refocus our studio and our business with more realistic goals and viable financials. We are committed to two other major changes today that we believe will support our focus, leverage Sony's strengths, and create new opportunities for Bungie talent. First, we're deepening our integration with Sony Entertainment.
Yeah, they're deepening, or Sony is deepening it with them, actually.
Pretty much. Working to integrate 155 of our roles, roughly 12%, into Sony Interactive Entertainment over the next few quarters. SIE has worked tirelessly with us to identify roles for as many of our people as possible, enabling us together to save a great deal of money, a great deal of talent that would otherwise have been affected by the reduction in force. Second, hold on, I just need to highlight this real quick. Second, we are working with PlayStation Studios leadership to spin out one of our incubation projects, an action game set in a brand new science fantasy universe, to form a new studio within PlayStation Studios to continue its promising development. All right. This will be a time of tremendous change for our studio. Let's unpack how we ended up in this position.
Oh
It's
shit!
important to understand. It's important to understand how we got here. All right, let's do this.
Okay, wow.
Over
A lot of
For over
clarity.
5 years, for over 5 years, it has been our goal to ship games in 3 enduring global franchises. To realize that ambition, we set up several incubation projects, each seeded with senior development leaders from our existing teams. We eventually realized that this model stretched our talent too thin, too quickly. It also forced our studio support structures to scale to a larger level than we could realistically support, given our 2 primary products in development, Destiny and Marathon. Additionally, in 2023, our rapid expansion ran headlong into a broad economic slowdown, a sharp downturn in the games industry, our our quality miss with Destiny 2 Lightfall, and the need to give both the final shape and Marathon the time needed to ensure both projects deliver at the quality our players expect and deserve. We were overly ambitious. Our financial safety margins were subsequently exceeded, and we began running in the red. This one is important, ladies and gentlemen. Mismanagement. After this, our new trajectory became clear. We knew we had to change our course and speed, and we did everything we could to avoid today's outcome. Even with exhaustive efforts undertaken across our leadership and product teams to resolve our financial challenges, these steps were simply not enough. As a result, today we must say goodbye to incredible talent, colleagues, and friends. At least they didn't call them family. Don't you hate it when companies call you family? This will be a challenging time at Bungie, and we'll need to help our team navigate these changes in the weeks and months ahead. This will be a hard week, and we know that our team will need time to process, to ask questions, and to absorb this news. Today and over the next several weeks, we will host team meetings and town halls, team breakout sessions, and private individual sessions to ensure we're keeping our communication open and transparent. Bungie will continue to make great games. We still have over 850 team members building Destiny and Marathon, and we will continue to build amazing experiences that exceed our players' expectations. There will be a time to talk about our goals and projects, but today is not that day. Today, our focus is on supporting our people. What do you mean, our people? From the moment you let them go, they aren't ours any. You know what? Whatever. Ham. Thoughts.
So apparently Jeff Grubb put up something saying that
What'd he say?
I sent that to you, so you should be able to click that link. You should put it on
Ooh,
the screen if you can.
what did Jeff? Oh my goodness. Herman Hulst runs Bungie now.
Yeah, I think Sapo put it in the chat a little bit earlier.
Yeah. Sapo did put it up in the chat. Okay, so where does this link take us? Is Bungie still publishing the games independently and operating separately from PlayStation? What does deepening our integration? Well, this is what deepening integration means. That that's essentially what it means. Oh my god, the final shit. Oh my goodness.
Oh, come on now.
That is messy.
I've heard nothing but good things about the final shape. And you know what? I'm playing Destiny right now, and I'm enjoying the hell out of it. But yeah, it's looking
You
a
should have-
little
you should have
gray
bought-
over there, bud.
You should have bought 2 pre-orders of the final shape, Ham. Otherwise, people
that's
people would still have jobs.
to think
People
another
would still
like
have
20
jobs if
bucks
you had bought that. Yeah, yeah.
man, maybe
Everyone who bought
maybe
the final
maybe
shape,
if you would have bought it in the first place.
I no,
No.
no.
No, but like as I said, this kind of reminds me of the whole situation with Tango and whatnot. It's just like bit off more than what you could chew. But this is actually in fact this is worse. And here's why. Before I let you read that and whatnot, and we can because it's not looking good. But
Oh my God, you're
But
done.
if,
What the hell?
but to me this is worse because it's like you specifically bought this company. With Xbox, it's like you acquired it by getting Bethesda.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
That's no excuse for what Xbox did with Tango, by the way. Right? Because it's still how you still, showed off this pretty little gem, right? And then you got rid of them after, saying, "Hey, you guys have been playing a lot of this game. We won some awards. Yeah, go Xbox and the fuck out of here." But I'm thinking this is worse because you specifically bought Bungie, right? To do what they do, and all that it seems like is a trash fire. Like it doesn't seem like anything great has came out of it. Like the final shape, sure, that might have been good, but I mean, there's been more turmoil, you could say, than there's been any kind of positivity throughout their tenure with Bungie. Like this is your second round of layoffs that we know of.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And the last one was 300 people. This time this time it's over 200 people. It's just not looking good. You got Jeff Grubb coming out here saying, Herman Hulse is running the show now. Like Bungie doesn't sound like Bungie anymore.
Jeff is one of those guys that knows.
I mean, he knows a lot more than the average person does. That's for sure. So it's just like it's not a good look. What did he say right under? What was the next tweet right under it? Right under that comment? His first comment. Right under there. Go ahead and read.
Also, they attempted to soften the blow by sending many people from Bungie into Sony Interactive Entertainment instead of just cutting them. I thought the number of jobs lost was going to be closer to 350. I'll put it as far as I know, which isn't everything by a long shot. In time, Bungie will lose its autonomy and will become like any other PlayStation worldwide studio under SIE and Herman Hulst. And by in time, I just mean that this is a process that is starting now, but it is happening. Yeah.
So what do you think about all that, bud?
I am going back to my mind is going back to the unrealistic expectations that was set when they purchased them. I remember they had a whole bunch of targets.
Dude, they said 12 live service games. Remember that?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of not just games, but they also promised a whole millions of dollars in profits, monthly active users. There was a whole bunch of milestones that Bungie promised Sony. I can't remember them off the top of my head right now, but I do remember we had arguments about is this realistic? Yeah. And I think this is just a consequence of exactly that. it wasn't realistic. The people in leadership, and I'm gonna get back to those crocodile tears in that Bungie statement. But the people in leadership, although the statement says that they will also be affected, I highly doubt that they were affected, Ham. I would like to see the list. I want to see the list of who was removed from Bungie. I'd like to see if the percentage of people that have left is proportional. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it was like 3 people. From the 220 that left, I wouldn't be surprised if 3 of them were execs, and the rest was just middle management or lower ranking team members. And the people in the executive positions, they're the ones who made the decision to sign up with Sony. They're the ones who agreed to these unrealistic expectations, knowing I'm guessing that they knew this wasn't going to work out and that they would eventually have to give it away, because those numbers were crazy. The expectations that they said, the targets that they set and said that they would hit were unrealistic. And now the chicken's coming to roost. I don't know if that's how the saying goes. Welcome in, Talos Ray. But let's go back to this. Let's go back to this statement here from Bungie. It says here, we will be offering a generous exit package, including severance, bonus, and health coverage.
Click back to the other screen.
Ham, you in the positions that you've worked at, right? At the companies that you've worked at, how many times have they said that, like when you're applying for the position, how many times have they said, "Oh, we're offering a competitive salary"?
Oh,
and
yeah.
then when you get into the brass tacks, it's like, this doesn't sound competitive. This doesn't sound
Right.
competitive. So when you say generous exit package, that's gobbledygook to me.
I mean, it kind of is, because that's assuming you know that person's lifestyle.
Yes.
Right. So it's just like generous
Yes.
for the average person, but then it's like, all right, well, the average person is doing what? And then they're like, well, and then minimum wage comes in, like fucking the conversation, and like, what can we're not asking how much do you eat, we're asking how much can you like how much are you able to buy to keep you alive? Like it's different.
Yeah.
It's totally different. Like, the way that these companies look at it is like they're giving you just what you need to get by. And they say generous, and it might, and generous to me is like, generous doesn't mean, hey, they're sending you on a vacation. Because I feel like a lot of people read generous and they think, oh, they're coming out on top. Like, no.
Oh yeah,
no,
for the next year, you're chilling. You're chilling for the next 12 months.
Generous usually means you're making around what you were making at when you leave that job on like unemployment and stuff like that, and like you have a decent like health package that lasts longer than having to immediately go into Cobra Care or something like that, where then you're getting a horrible health benefit and whatnot. So it's just like, you get what's necessary. You don't get anything more than that. You're like none of these motherfuckers are leaving like Bobby Kotick or anything like that. Like, no,
and that's what pisses me
they're
off.
looking
here.
for a job before they leave to continue their lifestyle.
And that's exactly what pisses me off here with this. I don't even know what it is. It's a non-statement. This is a non-statement to me. And I was going to lead into that specific part, which is, if it ever leaks, we're going to find out that like the average employee was given 3 months salary 3 months health coverage, and good luck. But if there are any execs that got kicked out, those execs got like life-changing money. Like they don't have to work anymore.
Right. No, yeah, there's levels, right? There's levels.
And the takeaway for me, and it's unfortunate Cozy's not here because she has experience with like making games and stuff. The takeaway for me, if I'm a game developer, I'm doing everything right now. If I'm working, right, I'm doing everything right now to save as much money to go and do it by myself, to go and figure out something and make my own game. Or I'm making my own game when I get home after work at the office for Ubisoft, for PlayStation, for Xbox, for Nintendo, for whatever. Because at the end of the day, everyone here, all these developers are treated like jobbers on the WWE circuit. You will get chewed up and spit out without like remorse, and you're
Not even a
dead.
second thought.
They don't even care. They're gone. All this business about, oh, for the next few weeks we're going to be having cope sessions with the people that we've fired and told to move cities, to move their families, to come and live here so they can work for us. Now we've kicked them to the curb. We're gonna be very nice to them and pay for like psychiatrists, psychologists, and give them references for the next 2 weeks. But after that, tough tits, life moves on. That's my takeaway from all of this. If you make video games, every time you see this better motivate you to not keep tying yourself to AAA gaming. Start your own shit, get your team, make your own indie game. Even if you make the exact amount of money that you're making now with your indie game, at least you don't have to crunch. At least you're not gonna move somewhere and be left to dry at a moment's notice. And at least you get to live your life on your own terms. Because this is crazy. This is wild. I've heard stories about people that left their home states, left everything because they got a job at, I don't know, EA or whatever. And then suddenly it's over. You done lost everything.
Yeah, that hustle and bustle is something fierce.
I wanted to get into the whole deepening our integration with Sony Interactive Entertainment, but Grub just showed us everything. So that's all I have to say on this topic. Do you have anything to add, Ham?
No, I'm all set, man.
All right. So on that dark note, let us end the show with a uplifting story. All right. Let's have us a laugh. Ham, someone is suing From Software because Elden Ring is too hard. So Elden Ring was made.
Imagine calling your lawyer because you lost a fight in Elden Ring. Imagine that. Like, just think about
Not
like
just a fight.
I need my fucking lawyer. This is bullshit.
Bro, this is crazy. So Elden Ring was made.
You know, this motherfucker asking for pain and suffering.
Yeah. Dairizi, it is cold than a mother. All right, it is cold. Here we go. Elden Ring was made to be one of the most challenging games ever. That much is glaringly obvious. Is it? Is it really? It fits into the niche remarkably well and is arguably the most important game in the category, overpowering the likes of Dark Souls, Sekiro, and perhaps even Bloodborne. However, the fact doesn't sit well with everyone, and one player in particular has taken that notion further than anyone else, announcing that they're seeking legal action against From Software, Elden Ring's developer. Why are they suing the legendary game creator? Because Elden Ring is too hard. It goes a little deeper than that. Admittedly, at this point, it might also be satire, but the Elden Ring player seems resolute in their desire to sue From Software. Okay, so papers haven't been filed. Papers haven't been filed. The posts online, which were recovered by MP First, talk of content being.
I'm still trying to
hidden
imagine calling my lawyer, just being like, "Oh man, the blade of molecular, you bitch!" And then just be like, I'm calling my where's Johnson and Hewitt at? I'm fucking calling them. like I can't.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't. That's wild.
So the posts online, which were recovered by MP First, talk of content being hidden behind a wall of difficulty that even the most skilled players won't ever reach, thus making the game either half unplayable or inherently unfair. It's a bit wild, bro. There's people beating Elden Ring with dance pads. This is embarrassing.
This person doesn't know what's happening. They're just out of their mind. They're just getting their ass beat, and they don't know which way to look.
Yeah. Let's get to the actual quote. My Elden Ring lawsuit that claims we have only played half of From Software's games and a whole new game is hidden inside, and that it's too hard to access for even if it's more dedicated fans. This is where it starts to fall apart, with the player stressing that they've been turned insane. The player
look. So what they're talking about right there is Moog. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Do you understand that they're talking about the new game is hidden inside like inside a hidden level?
They're talking about
they're saying that the DLC is you have to bypass Moog. And I can tell you myself, like, I am not a professional gamer. You guys know that if you're here. You know that. I'm not a Souls guy. You guys know this.
I am the Souls guy.
In fact, I've been saying I'm sick of seeing Souls games. I've been telling y'all this. I beat Moog over a year ago. like over a year ago. Like, I turned on Elden Ring to see if I was able to get to the DLC if I wanted to, and realized I have beat that boss a long time ago. So it was like, so to me, like, reading this, I'm just like, dude, this guy has more money than he has understanding.
Yes.
If you're willing to call your lawyer or set up some sort of meeting, just think about the type of person you have to be to feel entitled enough to be like, I know you were talking to somebody about how they got hit by a car, but I need to talk to you about this difficulty in this game that doesn't allow me to turn down the difficulty anymore. This is ridiculous. It's unfair, and I spent my hard-earned $60 on this game, and it won't let me access the other part that I spent money on before understanding what the fuck I was getting myself into. Like, you know, like you know, that's because that's what it really sounds like. It sounds like you paid to go skydiving, you got into the plane, and then you're like, oh my God, no. This is too much.
This is not what I was looking for.
You paid for this. That's not their that's not the pilot's problem. He's not taking you down right now. All these other people paid as well. Fuck you. Like that. But this person feels like they're that. I can guarantee you this is an American.
Yes.
I can guarantee you this is an American. Because only in America do we find it necessary to do something like this. Like, this is like one of those times where I'll self-own. I will self-goal myself on this one. We are the only people in the world that I know of that will make the news for some shit like this. Because not only do we do, because I'm sure wild shit happens in fucking Europe, Africa, Asia. Like wild shit happens everywhere. But for some reason, we are very insistent on letting everybody know how angry we are.
Yes. And how offended you guys
America pops out and we're like, we're here because we want everybody to see how these guys have been treating us. Poor us. And these motherfuckers in these like impoverished countries are like, would you shut the fuck up?
Before we come and shut you up.
Oh,
with
man,
that bullshit. Big Mom says is probably Californian. If I were to guess,
it's one of these ritzy cities. I can guarantee it.
I would say Florida. If I were to guess, how?
Oh, Dave Reezy said it quickly. He said, or a Florida man.
Yeah, exactly.
It has to be somebody in a like because you're not getting some you're not getting some good old boy white dude from fucking Alabama. He ain't doing this.
He doesn't care about this.
Nope, you're not getting you're not getting the brothers out here freaking out about this. The boys are calling him a pussy. Like he's not doing this.
They're telling him
you
to
get one of these people that get mad at the person making their latte every morning. That's that motherfucker.
Yeah,
that's a motherfucker. That's a motherfucker trying to return some shoes that they wore for the last month to Target. That's that motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah. So we needed a good laugh after that previous topic.
That was a perfect way to like tie up the show. Oh my goodness, because that was wild. Like almost like is there anything further that's happened or like progressed in this case?
No. The person has not submitted the papers yet, so
man, please don't.
They're just saying that they had a meeting with a lawyer. They've spoken to the lawyer and they're now looking at strategies. So that's
I
where
would
we're
say
at.
This to me personally is worse than the random people that I think were in California that tried to sue Xbox for buying Activision Blizzard.
Oh yeah,
this might be worse to me because nobody understands you, bro. like maybe you had a few like ponies in your corner or something like that for the Activision blocking thing, right? You had some people saying, yeah, I understand that person. I feel where he's at. But this one is just like, man, you look like a bitch. Like, you just look like a whole ass bitch.
Every single one of us is laughing. That's just the truth of it. No one empathizes with you. Tough.
I honestly hope the article's fake.
There was links, Sam.
You said there are references.
There's links in the article. Unfortunately. Anyways, before we hop on out of here. Oh, my brother in Kojima says calling my lawyers for not catching all my Pokemon. Dairies, he says they promised 100 stars. to get in Super Mario 64 only 419. I'm calling my lawyers. Yeah.
For
You guys
real,
now
right?
you guys have actual cases. Okay.
Somebody's literally gonna probably sue for like not being able to win a match in Fortnite or something.
Yeah. Like I played 1,000 games in Fortnite. I haven't won a single game. I'm suing.
I've been building this case for 5 years.
Yeah, I'm suing Epic. I'm suing Epic. The hell?
Like,
People
man,
are
you
out
sucked for 5 years? That's insane.
Not one win, not one, not a single. Okay,
I think
all right.
that means that's not your game, bud.
Yeah, that's a bit embarrassing.
I mean, and here's the thing, as like I know that we're like exiting right now, but here's the thing. Here's a little touch of reality that I wanted to kind of sprinkle on our way out. I feel like people have to realize that just not everything is for you. And that is a good thing. Right?
Yeah.
If everybody was good at everything, there would be no such thing as good or bad. Right?
Yeah. You
I
need
mean,
the
that
dark
wouldn't exist.
to appreciate
Also,
the light. You need the rain to appreciate a sunny day. Balance.
well, there's a good balance in shame as well, right? Like, it's good to know that, hey, we don't do that because we can do this if we don't involve ourselves with that, right? Trying to force yourself to be something that you're not, and then making other people's transform to make it easier for you, well, then we're not evolving and getting better. We're devolving. You know what I'm saying? Like, Elden Ring makes an easy game. Well, then is it? Who the fuck is From Software? They're every other company now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You are no longer anybody. You're just one of them.
Nothing special then. That's true. Dallas Ray, appreciate you. The word is gratitude for me, man. I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I'm not a part of the gaming industry in terms of being a developer, because Jesus, it is bad. I'm grateful to be here with you, Ham, having a nice chat. I'm grateful for everyone in the chat, sending their comments, liking and subscribing. Grateful for just having a good night, having a good day, really.
Yep, and we're grateful for every single like, share, and follow. So make sure you guys do that. But let's go on ahead and wrap it up, because my wife just got home, bro.
All right, so you don't have anything to plug? You're good?
Other than see you on Friday for bullsitting. Not really. I'm gonna try to do like now that I'm a little bit more comfortable, I'm gonna try to do like something fun on Tuesdays. Loke, you can join if you want, but it's just something random. It's not even something really promised exactly yet, but it's just something that we can hop on and just in case there's a little bit of news, or we want to play some games together, or just do something. Like, I'd like to try to make Tuesday kind of like a community night of like gaming or something like that. I think that'd be fun, where we game, talk, everyone's invited. Maybe we do this show but on Discord.
Before we go, oh my God, before we go, Black Viking just shared some dark business. Bungie CEO spent over $2.3 million on classic cars after the Sony acquisition.
I'm struggling
Again.
to. I'm struggling to see the issue, I guess.
Remember when I said I'd like to see who's getting kicked out? Because their statement says the layoffs affect all departments, from the bottom all the way to the top. The reason why I'd like to see who's out is because of shit like this. Because the acquisition only went through because the people at the top decided this was a good move for the company. And they obviously made this move. Hold on. They obviously signed off on it because they were going to get their cut. They were going to get their 5%, their 2%, their 0.7%.
Yep.
And now the lower level employees that didn't get a say are paying the price for unrealistic expectations. That there's no way, Ham, me and you, we've never worked for Bungie a day in our lives. But when we saw those projections, we both were like, I'm not sure they can hit this. I'm not sure. Matt, that plays the game religiously, was like, I'm not sure they can hit those targets. And we don't have the information that they had at the time. But they saw they saw the targets in front of them, but I'm sure they also saw how much money they were going to get, even though they knew they weren't going to hit the targets. And here it is. One of them was out here blowing cash.
Look,
they made a whole bunch of it with the sale.
I still got to ask you, where's the problem?
What do you mean, where's the problem, Ham? The problem is that the people that make this thing go round are not being fairly compensated, and they're not being taken care of when things fall apart.
You're right.
Because if we go back to those numbers, you're going to check that for the compensation side, the one or two execs that got fired got paid a boatload of cash, whereas the regular employees got 3 months salary at most. And then in terms of being taken care of, the employees is stressed right now. The regular employee is stressed the hell out trying to figure out how they're going to make rent in 3 months or mortgage. Whereas the execs, the people that made this decision, the people that are paid to foresee and lead, to lead from the front in the best interest of the company and the employees behind them, those people will be the least affected in terms of firing, and the least affected in terms of the severance package. That's what's wrong here.
I disagree with you completely. As you said earlier, in the proverb that we use all the time with nothing's new under the sun, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I want to go back to what you were saying earlier about Nintendo and the Love Hotel.
Oh my God. I traumatized you.
And I want to ask you one more time, what's the problem?
Devs, stop giving your lives to these companies. I love video games. I really do love video games. But devs, wake up.
I mean, I empathize for anybody that lost their job and but like it's just in his situation, would you, as Vic says, be Mother Teresa? Would you give all your I mean,
I would be responsible. Yes.
No. Hold on a second. Through all of the trial and tribulation that you've been in with the company, ups, downs, and all arounds, and maybe your priority wasn't to make everybody happy, but it was to make as much money from somebody that can give it to you and that will give it to you. And they found that person, and they found that person, and they're doing as much. They're in my opinion, this CEO person is just the face of Bungie, but he's really nothing. He's really nobody there now at this point. I feel like Sony is just like kind of running the show, and like in my opinion, they allowed this to happen on their. They allowed this to happen. It's not like Sony wasn't like, like you're still going to make the same amount of money whether you cut these people or not. It's not like Sony stepped in and said that to him. Like, you're going to make the same amount of money whether you cut these people or not. No. He said, I want to make sure I make this amount of money, so I'm going to cut all these other people, and we're going to take this direction and do this so I can make sure to get my money. And they said, okay. So it's like it's not like they can't. It's not like they can do all this stuff without informing the higher ups what their kind of idea or goal is, right? So I'm not sure which one's to blame as much, the CEO guy of Bungie, or was this in the plan for Sony all along to just kind of take over that company, say they're doing their own thing, and slowly merge them without anybody noticing, right? It's like putting the frog in the cold water, putting it on the stove and boiling it. You didn't even know what's fucking happening.
So, to your question, I would be one of the people in the meeting room, right? In the senior management meeting room, that when they say all those against selling to Sony, I would be one of the few people with my hand up. And if I had the power, right? If I had like veto power, I wouldn't have sold the company. Not with those being the targets for us to maintain our independence. Because again, to the point that we spoke about earlier, as soon as they announced the targets that Bungie had to hit, people like me and you that didn't have the whole scope of Bungie and who works there and who, like this, the Excel sheets and accounting and all this other stuff, we were like, I don't know, man, that looks kind of fishy. There's no way the execs didn't know that it wasn't possible for them to hit the targets.
Yo, and I mean, they really remind me of the NFL or basketball team that tanks. Kind of. The way that you're kind of describing this to me is what it sounds like when you purposefully tank something to then have all these different abilities that weren't available prior because of how much you were invested personally in it. In my opinion, the way that this company is jump around Bungie, they were looking to get paid out by somebody. They didn't want to sit around and do the work themselves. So that guy, from what it looks like, he is doing exactly what we should have all foreseen. He's trying to make a profit and get out at some point. It may not be right away. He's trying to siphon as much as he can, but bro, come on now. You selling all over the place and having all these issues, yet you keep getting money from different sources to provide for your team. Oh, here's an extra bit of money to make sure you keep your team. Somehow that extra bit of sometimes you go into the hole when you get extra money. Like,
It makes no sense.
it doesn't. It doesn't. And to me, it just sounds like somebody is trying to relieve themselves of, trying to just kind of back up into the bushes like Homer does. It's kind of what it's kind of what it seems like, bud.
Bungie had to sell the company because financially they weren't viable. They were in trouble. Selling to Sony pretty much saved more jobs. And this is where I disagree with the way they did it. If that was the only way out, then they should have sold the company outright, given Sony complete control, because Sony clearly knows how to manage a company. Maybe Sony would have been able to right the ship to the point where you don't have to be firing the people that you're firing today. What you did was a half measure. That's not good for anyone.
Fair enough.
If you're married and the marriage is not working anymore, the solution is not for you to move out of the house, live across the street, and then you kind of are married, but you're not. And then you have random people showing up at her place, random people showing up at yours, but the kids don't know who's in charge between mommy and daddy. It's best to just cut the ties and then just move on. If the situation was we need to move on, and Sony needs to handle this because we clearly can't do it anymore financially, they should have just done a hard reset and just sell the thing outright. Geek like Mike says, I've worked with Bungie when they were at Activision doing early reviews, and it was the same thing, same toxicity. This time Sony wasn't having it. Why gotta start putting the blame where it lies? Exactly, Ham. See, so now we're finding out that the toxicity was in the issue and the malfeasance. It's even in their statement. They're the ones who made the wrong projections. They're the ones who expanded incorrectly. It's Bungie's fault that all of this is happening. If they just sold the company outright and given it to Sony, there's a chance that these jobs still exist today, because Sony would have managed it better.
I agree with that. The only pushback I kind of got for that really is you knew who you're buying. It's not like you guys opened the book and was like, oh, like I seen the first ad that popped out of the book and I bought it. No, Bungie's been around for a hot minute. They were they were hard to deal with Xbox. Everybody faulted Xbox for that, remember? It's just Xbox being bad with business, remember?
Yes.
So when Xbox got rid of Bungie, it was bad Xbox. We feel bad for Bungie. And then Activision picks them up. Same kind of bullshit happens. They love their way into the bedroom with Activision, and then they claim that, I didn't ask for this. I didn't like this. What are you trying to do to me in here? And then you escape, right? You escape. And then Sony is like, your resume looks pretty solid. And everyone's like, no, it doesn't. Even Microsoft said, Bungie, you're trying to come back, and I ain't feeling it no more. like that happened. You bought, you invested, you gave even additional more money into. You claimed not long ago that you were overseeing what Bungie is doing now, and I'm sure they said that after seeing some of these projections before all this article and stuff came out, right? We're seeing the tail end of it compared to when it all started and when it all happened, right?
Yeah.
So in my thought process is like, if these projections and everything were so wrong back then, and then it just come to fruition now, Sony does need to burden some of that responsibility, because either you did what Phil did with Arcane Austin and was just like, y'all got it. So then it's negligence on you for not paying any damn attention. Or you don't give a fuck about what they do and you're just ready to eat it on up. And you don't care what happens. You just want to own that brand. It's one of the two. You can't not be responsible.
There's a
you can't
third
be
option.
completely innocent
There's
just because
a third
you was
option
a
there. There's a third option there that you're ignoring.
I'm not ignoring it.
Sony cannot force anyone to sell their company outright. No one can force that. Not yet. So even if Sony had already identified that, guys, you guys cannot perform accordingly, they cannot force Bungie to be like, oh, okay, yeah, you guys are right. We're now just going to sell outright because you guys have better management. Sony can only identify that, okay, this is going to fall apart in a couple of months, but there's lots of value here. So what we're going to do is let it fall apart, and then we'll take it and do something with it. But
that's
Sony
option
cannot.
two.
Sony cannot force anyone to sell outright. Not even Microsoft can force that.
That's option number two that I said. Just wait for it to fail and just eat them up.
Exactly. So again, you can't fault Sony on this one. It's not Sony.
I don't know, man. If I go out, or if if Tesla cars go, if a Tesla car goes bad, if a Tesla car goes bad, right, and it had nothing to do with Tesla, but it had to do with something that's made third party wise within the motor that went bad with it. Are we saying, oh, Tesla, it's not your fault? It was because of that developer of that specific part that went into the vehicle that screwed it up, and they screwed you over? Or are we saying, Tesla, you fucked up? You chose a bad distributor.
I don't think that analogy fits, though.
How does it not fit? It's the same thing. You purchased, you got somebody to give you a service. They didn't provide the service properly, and now you're just kind of left with the kind of backlash of what kind of happens with that. Now you have, people unhappy. Like, what's the difference?
Because in this analogy, we don't know if Tesla tried to buy this distributor at first. Here we're talking about just Tesla having a partnership to receive parts. It would be the essentially trying to blame Stellar Blade, for example, for being a buggy mess. It's like, no, that's not really Sony's fault if it was a buggy mess, because they're not owned, not even partly, by Sony. It's just a third party that they paid to give them a service. That would fit if we're going with this Tesla example of yours. But for this one specifically, I think it's a bit different. I think.
I guess long story short of what I'm trying to say is, which I kind of already said it, is that by the examples given by you and what I've seen and stuff like that, sure, I can agree with you that, you know, Bungie burdens the responsibility in this situation, but I'm not just saying, hey, you know, it's only your fault.
Everyone has
the same way. It's just the same way that most people would look at Xbox when the same stuff happens over there. Instead of it being the developer, oh, it was Arcane Austin that didn't. You know, a lot of people said, oh, it was Xbox, including myself. I put a lot of that blame on Xbox. Remember? I know you remember, Loke. But whose responsibility was it to make sure things are going on? They have their own department of like Q&A and all this stuff that goes on. Why do you need Phil Spencer to stare at it and say it's bad before you fix it? You know what I'm saying? Like, why do you need your mama to come check your room that it's clean if you know it ain't?
I'm trying to imagine Phil Spencer being my mother.
Well, you understand the analogy though, right? Like you don't.
I got it.
Like, you don't even need a professional gamer to come in and tell you that this shit ain't working. You can take the most casual gamer out there and turn it on the hard difficulty in one shot all these enemies and be like, hey, this is hard. Seems like it's not working properly. Like, you don't need a genius. You don't need a rocket science for that. So, yeah, I mean, I agree with you in the sense of, Bungie burdens most of that responsibility. But at the same time, it's like, dude, your research didn't pan out, Sony. It didn't when you made this purchase. Like, I don't know what research you used when you made this purchase. I mean, can you agree with that? Like, what you like two of some of the biggest dogs in the industry tried to like eventually had to push them out of the door and just be like, all right, fine, get out, fine. If you see two of your homeboys kicking a girl out of the house, are you gonna want to bring her in and try to wipe her up, or are you gonna be like, yo, like?
Oh,
last I remember, you got your shit thrown in the line.
I don't know, man. What she look like, though? What she look like? I don't know. Anyway, let's get this super chat.
That's how it
let's
happened.
get this super chat.
See, that's how this happened. That's how Sony ended up in this situation. They said, "Yo, you looking right? You know, you looking real good."
I think she squats every day. That's what they were saying. Anyways, thank you so much, Geek Life Mike says. Thank you so much for the super chat. Says, I'm out of here. Just wanted to speak my mind in the chat right quick. Destiny is my favorite game, but SMH at Bungie. Have a great show. Thank you so much for the super chat. We've been trying to leave for the last 30 minutes.
40 minutes.
We need to actually go. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us for the 79th episode of the Lowdown on TSWS Gaming. I've been Loke7. He's Ham Solo. Bye-bye.